to sports. We're handing off to the WFUV sports crew and live coverage of Fordham University men's basketball. The game will be on 90.7 FM, but the music doesn't stop. You can keep listening to this show online. Just open up the WFUV app or head to WFUV.org.
Fordham returns to Rose Hill for the first time in 2 weeks. Fresh off a fourth conference win, their best total since 2018. The road to win number 5 runs through a red-hot VCU. The Road Rams have won 3 in a row, sporting a top 15 defense in the country. Fordham looking to string together wins against VCU. Tip-off is next on WFUV.
Michael Calamari here in our Rose Hill studios, and it's a battle of the Rams tonight as the 10th place Fordham Rams take on the 3rd place VCU Rams. Fordham is back home after a 3-game road trip. They sit at 11-12 overall in the season, and a win will bring them to 500 on the year. They're also coming off a 65-54 win over Duquesne. Last time out, 4 players in double digits. They're led by Chuba Ohams, 18 points and 14 rebounds, and Josh Colon-Navarro, who had 15 points as well. They're looking to carry that momentum over to tonight versus a scorching hot VCU team. They're coming off an 85-70 victory over George Mason. They're also winners of their last 3 games and 6 of their last 7. Now, before we send it back to Ryan Gregware and Nick DeLuca at the historic Rose Hill Gymnasium, Ryan Gregware, he had a chance to catch up with Coach Kyle Neptune before the game. This is what their conversation was.
Coach, last time out, an 11-point win. You guys didn't really trail for any of the game. What did you see from your guys in a 40-minute effort?
Yeah, really proud of the way we came out and competed. I thought we kind of took a step back with St. Bonaventure just with our level of competitiveness. I thought we got back on track. I thought we executed at a high level, so I was really proud of the way we competed and played.
No DQ, 4 guys in double digits. How pleased were you with the offensive unit?
I think that because we're so locked in defensively, guys have a lot of confidence. And we shared the ball, and we happened to make shots. So I'm definitely proud of what we were able to accomplish.
VCU, a team that plays intense press defense. What kind of challenge will that pose for you guys?
I mean, they're one of the best defensive teams in the country, not just our league. Their size, their length, their discipline, believe it or not, their organized chaos is definitely formidable for any team. So hopefully we can limit our turnovers. I think that's our best shot offensively, but also defensively, because if they, when they start turning teams over, that's also their best offense.
Coach, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Fordham returns to the Rose Hill Gym tonight as after closing out a 3-game road trip, they were able to find a win against Duquesne. Fordham impressive without their top scorer Darius Quisenberry, and trying to replicate that again tonight. Welcoming you inside the Rose Hill Gym. Hi again, everybody. Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our entire WFUV sports crew. So happy that you could be with us. Ryan, Fordham trying to replicate what went right for them last time out, now tasked with doing it again without Darius Quisenberry.
Yeah, he will not be active for this game. It was really impressive last time out. You know, this guy takes 32% of your shots. He's your leading scorer. He was 3rd in the A-10 in scoring. The way they're able to battle, 16 assists, 41% from 30. It was a complete team effort, but they're going to need all that and more here tonight if they want to beat VCU.
Coming into Saturday's game, Fordham was top 100 in three-point attempts and bottom 100 in three-pointers made. They made the adjustment. 17 three-point attempts against Duquesne were their fewest in a month, more efficient, and it helped them to a win.
Yeah, and it was Chuba Ohams down low really leading the way. You know, over their last 3 games before the win over Duquesne, they were averaging 27 three-point attempts a game. They cut that down by 10, as you mentioned, and playing through the big man Chuba Ohams down in the paint. It allowed them to get open looks from beyond the arc. And last time out, they were able to hit those shots.
When you lose a player as valuable as Darius Quisenberry, you're going to need somebody to step up. So far, that's been Antrell Charlton operating the point and scoring in double figures in back-to-back games.
And just the second time he's done that all season. Triple nickel last time out 11, 6 and 6. He's bringing the ball up more. Coach Neptune, he told me before the game that he's really stepped up in a new position, playing point, dominating the ball, and it's allowed him to really grow as a player.
VCU visits the Bronx, third in the Atlantic 10 at 9-3, winners of 3 games in a row and 6 of their last 7. This experienced VCU team returns 9 players from last year's roster with 70% of their minutes played and 64% of their scoring back from a season ago. The VCU identity is defense. They're 14th in the country in scoring defense, ranked 8th nationally in effective field goal percentage, 2nd in turnover percentage, 4th in defensive efficiency, 6th in the country in three-point defense. How good are they defensively? They held an SEC school to 37 points this year.
And you just mentioned a bunch of stats. We could have probably had the whole show just talking about their defensive numbers. It's defense, and it's more defense for VCU.
Though last in the A-10, the Black and Gold's offense has picked up recently, averaging 76 points a game over their 3-game winning streak. Preseason second team All A-10 player Vince Williams Jr. is as good an all-around player as you will find in this conference. Sophomore Ace Baldwin is averaging 13 per game over his last 4.
Yeah, and you look at Baldwin, he was out with the Achilles. The offense didn't really have an identity, just 57 points per game. In these last 15 games since he's been back, the team overall, they're averaging 68.5 points. So with his return, being that floor general, being bought into their identity, it's allowed VCU, as you talked about, to be the hottest they've been all year.
VCU has 3 of the top 5 players in the A-10 in defensive rating. All defensive team selection, Hassan Ward and freshman Jaden Nunn are the Rams' anchors on that end of the floor.
And Ward, he's a guy that has a lot of intrigue. 7'4", wingspan, preseason defensive team. He's a long, athletic post player. He's someone also, his last 5 games, 12-9 for him. He's really picked it up for the Rams.
VCU last in the A-10 in scoring offense, 14th in the country in scoring defense. And Fordham looking to attack. Tough challenge tonight. Kyle Neptune calling them one of the best defensive teams in the entire country. Says limiting the turnovers will be a key. That's a VCU trademark over the last 10 years. Fordham from right to left in the home whites. VCU left to right in the road blacks. And the tip one back into the backcourt for Vince Williams. Baldwin, Williams, Curry, Ward, and Nunn to start it for VCU. Ohams, Rose, Colon, Navarro, Charlton, and Simbilla, the 5 on the floor for Fordham. The righty leaner, center of the paint, it's Curry getting it to rattle in. An early bucket for Keyshawn Curry, the senior from Jacksonville, Florida, one of 3 VCU players averaging double figures, and it's 2-0 VCU half a minute in. Ohams, the possession on the near boundary, poked away, left to right and laid in by VCU, forcing an early turnover. It's 4-0, Rams 40 seconds in.
And that's exactly what the Rams do. They're going to full court press you, so Fordham has to come out well prepared because that's VCU for 40 minutes.
Something VCU's defense is known so well for. On top 4-0, it's Keyshawn Curry with the 4 points. Early for VCU, Antrell Charlton, the right wing, drawing a double team. Shoulder-eye possession, left arc, Colon Navarro, near corner 3, Rose. Rattles out Simbilla, the follow and the flush. Abdou Simbilla on the left block, elevating and throwing it down. 4 points, a career-high 8 rebounds last time out against Duquesne. Fordham, a 4-2 deficit, minute 20 in, first half. Baseline possession, shoulder high. It's Hassan Ward, the A-10 leader in defensive rating. Guys got it going offensively. The righty jump hook from 5 goes in. Hassan Ward, the junior from St. Thomas, Barbados, double figures in 4 of his last 5 games. Was one of 5 VCU players in double figures in their win last time out against George Mason. A 6-2 VCU lead 2 minutes in. Kyle Rose for Oham's right arc, working on Williams. The stop at the right elbow. His righty rainbow rattles in and out. Offensive board. Fordham claims it. Left arc. Rose on the pump fake, and he elevated and will draw a double dribble.
And you're seeing early on Fordham, especially Abdou Simbila, winning the glass battle. Fordham last time out versus Duquesne, 48-25, a season-high 16 offensive rebounds. So against VCU, with how tight they're going to play defensively, you need to capitalize on your opportunities. Get as many chances as you can.
Rebounding will be critical tonight. VCU second to last in the A-10 in rebounding margin. When they out-rebound opponents, they're 10-0, 5-7 when they're out-rebounded. The pass, errant, Colon Navarro intercepts left to right. His pass is too far for Ohams, claimed by Baldwin. In transition, left arc three. It's Williams in and out. A soar for the underneath-the-basket rebound by Ward. VCU, an extra possession. Cross-court pass, right arc none. Directing traffic, the freshman from Flint, Michigan, right of the key drive, stops on the elbow. His jumper too strong, and Ohams rips down an underneath-the-basket rebound for Fordham. Right to left into the front court. Chuba Ohams striding along the near boundary. Lost possession. It's out through the near sideline, knee high. And Ohams turning it over for a second time early. That VCU pressure on defense. 4 early turnovers for Fordham.
Yeah, and they're 4th in steal percentage in the country, so we kind of knew this was coming. But 4 turnovers in 3 minutes, obviously you cannot have that if you're Fordham.
The pressure has been there throughout this season. Opponents scoring 68 points a game over the last 5 against VCU, so their defense a little less effective as Baldwin on the adjustment with the left gets it to fall down. It's an 8-2 VCU run to start things off. Just over 3 minutes in to the first half. Kyle Rose, the far corner outlet, ball fake for Charlton. Straightaway Colon Navarro, shoulder high possession, defended by Baldwin. Stop on the A-10 stamp. Waist high possession. Left arc feed Charlton, between the legs dribble, crossover, left elbow jumper knocked away. Loose ball taken by Williams left to right. Right of the lane drive, possession poked away by Charlton, who will pick up a foul on the right of the lane swipe as Jaden Nunn, the freshman, one of 11 in the A-10, averaging 8 or better points a game, fell to the floor to the right of the basket. VCU will inbound it on top 8-2 with 3.5 minutes into the first half.
And VCU doing exactly what the scouting report showed. You know, they're going to play tight defense, and when they get the steal, they will push it. Their offense, as we've talked about, isn't very dynamic, so they will push in transition, try to get free baskets.
Left to the goal, inbound, waist-high possession for Ace Baldwin. Second on VCU in scoring. Top 10 in the A-10 in assists at a career-high 18 points. And his first double-double with 10 assists last time out. Nunn, the bounce, center of the paint. The lefty leaner goes down right in front of the basket. It's Vince Williams on the cut. VCU's leader in scoring and rebounding, 13-6. Leads the A-10 in defensive win shares and is on the board to increase the VCU lead 10-2. Possession on the far side, poked away, floated into the front court over the head of Williams. VCU forcing another turnover in the midst of a 6-0 run. But that time, their pass errant, and Fordham will get it back on the left of the goal inbound after it was out through the baseline.
And this game is just going too fast for Fordham right now. This is not the pace they've played at all year, and especially early on, they've not been able to match VCU.
VCU has the most turnovers in the Atlantic 10 and has also forced the most turnovers in the Atlantic 10. Colon Navarro soaring to the goal. The lefty leaner on the adjustment in off the glass. Josh Colon Navarro cuts the VCU lead to 6, 10-4. 15:40 and ticking in the first half. Right of the paint pass, it's Baldwin, the right baseline drive, turning around Hassan Ward on the flip up. It's in and out, but he's ruled to have stepped on the baseline. It's a VCU turnover, their third, and it will send us to immediate timeout. Approaching 5 minutes into the first half. 9 combined turnovers in the early going. VCU on top 10-4. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey, this is Sam Davis, broadcaster for Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports. Stay locked in all season long on the WFUV Sports Spreaker page, where you can find our live broadcasts as well as an archive of games played earlier in the year. We come on the air 10 minutes before game time, offer up the one-on-one pregame, halftime, and postgame reports, in addition to covering all the game action. The Rams women's basketball team is an exciting group in pursuit of another A-10 championship. Join the action with WFUV Sports on Spreaker.
Back inside the Rose Hill Gym, 15:38 on the first half clock. VCU 10, Fordham 4. Fordham returning home after a 3-game road trip, looking for a second straight win in the Atlantic 10. VCU trying to extend their winning streak to 4. And in the early going, it's that vaunted VCU defensive pressure that, as expected, has given Fordham a little trouble.
And when you factor in how Fordham is really, lacking a true point guard right now, it's going to create issues. And early on, they've not been able to adjust the way they were versus Duquesne. They need to figure out ways, in the backcourt, have it stress-free, bring it up without problems, because VCU is just terrorizing them, and it's letting VCU get these free opportunities for baskets where Fordham can't even get their defense set.
VCU's defense, known for its pressure, they have finished 33rd or better in turnover percentage in 9 of the past 10 seasons. VCU has forced 15 or more turnovers in 38 of 48 games since the start of last year. And since 2011-2012, VCU has ranked inside the top 10 in defensive turnover percentage 6 times, including 3 years at number 1. VCU at 32-5 in the past 3 years when scoring 20 or more points off of turnovers, and 31-7 when forcing 18 or more. Translation, they force a lot of turnovers, and when they do that, they win a lot of games.
And what makes it so tough is it's 1 through 5 that force these turnovers. 5 guys on this team with 20-plus steals on the season, 3 thus far with 1 apiece. So Fordham needs to figure out ways, everyone on the court has the opportunity to steal the basketball.
And plus some quality depth. This VCU rotation going 10 or 11 deep. Ahmad Harrison right to left into the front court. Right arc Rose, the belt-high possession, the extended right arm of Keyshawn Curry. Rose drawing a double team. The near corner pass, elevated 4 by Harrison. Jab step, left baseline drive, stops at the block. The adjustment with the left goes down. Ahmad Harrison battling through injury, gets it to go. It's Curry on the floated pass into the front court. On the right of the lane drive, slams it home. Fordham asleep off the made basket, and VCU steals a quick one, 12-6, the VCU advantage. 5 minutes in first half. Kelly, left arc 3. In and out, and the right block board reeled in by VCU and Keyshawn Curry. VCU in transition. Williams, the over-the-head pass, looking far sideline. No one home, out toward the Fordham bench, and it's a VCU turnover, their 4th of this first half.
Yeah, and that's being consistent with what they have done all year, because we've already talked about, how special they are defensively, but they will turn the ball over. When you play at this pace, that is what happens. 15 on the season, 2nd in the conference.
Keyshawn Curry with 6 early points for VCU. Fordham trails by 6. Between the legs dribble, Ahmad Harrison stops on the midline. His float, right boundary Rose. Between the legs dribble, a swipe at the basketball, and a foul called on VCU. Keyshawn Curry will pick up his first, and VCU's first of the first half. Far boundary inbound for Ahmad Harrison on the floor with Rose, Simbila, Nowitzki, and Josh Colon Navarro with the Rams in the home whites. Waist-high dribble by Colon Navarro, drawing a double team. Over the head possession, Nowitzki for Rose left arc, shielded by Keyshawn Curry. The dribble hesitation by Rose with the right. 4 to shoot on the clock. Ahmad Harrison, the pump fake, hoists the right arc 3. Short of the basket. Colon Navarro elevating. But a shot clock violation called on Fordham. Their 6th turnover already.
And Ahmad Harrison, I get it, it's the end of the shot clock, but he's not the guy you want taking that shot. Still has not made a 3 on the season. Very raw offensively. He had a nice drive early in the game, but you figure, getting late in the shot clock, you want Kyle Rose taking that opportunity.
Abdu Simbila will check out with Antrell Charlton returning to the floor. Left of the paint drive. Baldwin the adjustment. The shoulder shake off the glass, and it falls. Ace Baldwin, the sophomore, 13 points a game over his last 4. A-10 rookie team a season ago, extending the VCU lead to 8. Charlton in the front court, left arc 3, bangs off the back heel, and Baldwin clamps the center of the paint rebound. VCU by 8, 14-6, 13 and a half minutes on the first half clock. Baldwin, the shoulder shake, stops on the right elbow. His fall-away floater rims out. Harrison, the center of the paint board. Outlet right to left into the front court. And Colon Navarro, the easy shovel in for 2. Josh Colon-Navarro with 4 points. Ahmad Harrison gets the assist, and Fordham trails by 6, 7 minutes in first half. It's Williams, the right block bounce, up with the left, off the glass and good. And VCU extends the lead back to 8, 16-8, approaching 7 minutes in first half with a whistle as Chuba Ohams looks to check back in along the far sideline. This, the pace that Fordham was looking to slow down, and so far it's been played at VCU speed.
And I'm not even sure, Fordham expected them to come out this hot out of the gate in terms of pushing the basketball. We've seen Keyshawn Curry, the real slasher on this team. He has 6 early points, and frankly, he's just catching Fordham off guard. When he gets the basketball, he's been pushing to the basket. Fordham has not been set defensively to stop that attack.
This a VCU offense coming in that is last in the A-10 in scoring, however, matched a season high with 85 points against George Mason, averaging 76 over their 3-game winning streak. 11-2 this season when shooting over 45%. Right now, 8 of 11 from the field in the early going. Chuba Ohams, the pass on the near side, out of the reach of Kyle Rose and out through the sideline. Another Fordham turnover. It's their 7th of the first half. 12:50 and ticking first half. Fordham, some sloppy offense trying to stem the tide with VCU's early ambush. 16-8, VCU on top. The right of the lane drive, the pump fake. Nick Kern Jr. going up, the shoulder adjustment. Left it too long out through the baseline, and Fordham will get possession on the right of the goal inbound. That's just the 4th missed shot by VCU in the early going tonight. Kyle Rose in the backcourt, shadowed on the defense by Nick Kern, the freshman. Over the head pass, right arc, Colon-Navarro into a 3. It's good. Josh Colon-Navarro with room from the right arc. Gets the 3 to fall. 7 early points to lead Fordham. And VCU's lead trimmed to 5, 16-11, 8 minutes in first half.
And he's really came into his own recently. Over 10 points per game in his last 7. His tough defense early in the season has translated to offense.
DeHonis curling around, his possession poked away. Colon-Navarro claims possession. Stops up top, hesitation dribble. Charlton, belt tie possession. Right arc swing, baseline on the right drive by Ahmad Harrison. Flips it up on the scoop layup, left short underneath, but a foul called as Harrison was bumped on his way to the goal. And Ahmad Harrison will head to the free throw line with Marcus Sahanis, the junior from Portland, Oregon, Washington transfer, picking up his first foul of the night. 11:56 on the first half clock. VCU 16, Fordham 11. Back to our Rose Hill studios, a one-on-one scoreboard with Sebastian Seebach.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
All right, guys, after 2 crucial wins from Davidson and Dayton yesterday, there's not much swirling around within the Atlantic 10 today. Tomorrow, though, it will be a different story as we've got 4 big games. UMass taking on St. Bonaventure, George Mason traveling to St. Joseph's, Duquesne hosting George Washington, and LaSalle playing against St. Louis. NCAA Top 25, some bigger games later on in the day, including number 10 ranked Villanova versus number 8 ranked Providence. Number 4 ranked Kentucky will also play 16th ranked Tennessee. Both games start at 8 and 9 respectively. The NFL 21-22 season is officially over, and the Super Bowl champ Rams had a unique way to celebrate yesterday with a team field trip to Disneyland. Their official victory parade in LA will take place tomorrow afternoon. Moving on to the NHL, Bruins up 1-0 against the Rangers with an early goal from Charlie Coyle. Islanders and Buffalo are scoreless in the first quarter, and also no score between the Lightning and the Devils. And would you know, the Nets finally snapped their 11-game losing streak yesterday with the 109-85 win against the Kings. Seth Curry already making his presence felt after finishing with 23 points in his debut as a Net. Meanwhile, the Knicks fell to the Thunder 127-123 in overtime with triple-doubles from Josh Giddey and Julius Randle. Both teams have off today and will play against each other at MSG tomorrow. With your one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Sebastian Seebach.
Thanks, Sebastian. Back here at the Rose Hill Gym, half filled with the maroon seats surrounding the wood finished court. The Block F logo in the middle with the Ram off to the left. And a battle of the Rams tonight. VCU on top 16-11 at the under 12 timeout, 11:56 on the first half clock. Fordham has started 5 of 11 from the field, but need some semblance of an answer with VCU 8 of 12 in the early going.
Yeah, and they're playing like it's a sprint, but for Fordham it needs to be a marathon. They can't really play at this fast pace this whole game. They don't have the athletes offensively to do so. And VCU, I've been really impressed with their defense, especially their press, but when they've got into that half court, Fordham has had some opportunities, taken to the basket. Josh Navarro with 7 early points. They need to find ways to get more high percent shots, because I think for this Fordham team, that's what it really comes down to here tonight.
Ahmad Harrison heads to the free throw line out of the timeout. His first with the left rattles in. Harrison, the freshman, did not score in 9 minutes with an assist last time out against Duquesne. Working back from an injury, has played just 11 total minutes in the month of February as Harrison drills the second to cut the VCU lead to 3. 16-13, 11:50 and ticking first half. Stop at the head of the key by Nunn in the shovel for Williams. His heels on the block F portion of the logo. Right of the paint drive, walled off by Kyle Rose. The hip-high possession poked away by Rose. Reclaims Williams. Travel. Locked down by Kyle Rose. Kyle Neptune so complimentary of what Rose brings on both ends of the floor, saying it starts with his defense. And that, an excellent job on Vince Williams Jr., the VCU leading scorer.
And the on-ball defense from Kyle Rose has always been, one of his high-level parts of his game, but they're great defense to force a turnover.
Josh Colon Navarro drawing a double team. It closes in. The float into the front court knocked away. Kern, the baseline float. Williams, the adjustment, flips it up. Twisting underneath the basket, gets it to fall, plus the foul. The Kern feed and the twisting float by Vince Williams. Looking to square his shoulders over the head, off the glass, and it falls in. And VCU's leading scorer showing what makes him so explosive near the rim. The lead for VCU back to 5, 11:23 on the first half clock, and a chance for one more.
Williams can really do it all, and you see, how balanced he is as a player. Obviously, that under-the-basket athleticism there. The defense, fantastic. He can shoot the three ball as well. He is their kind of do-it-everything guy, and he's been fantastic all season long.
Preseason second-team All-A-10 selection as he nails the free throw. 17 points a game over his last 5. Scored 17 points just twice in his career before this season. Has really made a jump. He's one of the best all-around players in the Atlantic 10, putting VCU on top 19-13. 11-10 on the first half clock. Over the head pass, Antrell Charlton between the legs dribble, working around the defense from Ward. Left arc Rose, left baseline Ohams backing down on the defense from Ward. His flip up with the left short. Right block, loose ball ripped away by Kyle Rose. A battle for possession and a VCU foul underneath. Rose bending toward the knee area to try and rip the basketball away, and it's a second Keyshawn Curry foul here in the early going.
And that's crucial. If Fordham can find ways to get him in foul trouble with the way his skill set matches up against this defense, it's huge for them to be able to do what they want to do and get set defensively.
Float for Ohams on the right baseline. Back to the basket. Defense from Ward. Stop in the center of the paint. Right arc three. Colon Navarro rims out, and Nunn runs down the right baseline rebound. Williams in transition. The loose ball reclaims possession between the legs dribble. Back to the basket. Curling Banks doesn't hand off. Williams shut off by Charlton on the left block. It's Ward, the righty floater, falls in over Ohams. Hassan Ward gets it to go over the contest of Ohams. Ward with that body control, one of 5 VCU players in double figures against George Mason. 10 points, 6 rebounds, and a whistle after VCU picked up a technical foul. Vince Williams will be tagged with his first and VCU's third of the first half. It's a 5-0 VCU run to extend their lead to 8. Josh Colon Navarro will head to the free throw line.
Any chance you get Colon Navarro to the free throw line, he's who you want on this team with Darius Quisenberry at 21 for 23 on this season. He's been everything Fordham could have wanted in that aspect.
Colon Navarro hits the first. VCU 21, Fordham 14. 10:26 remains in the first half. The second for Cologne Navarro is all net. So Williams picks up the technical after the Hassan Ward righty floater. As VCU expands that rotation that sees 10 players averaging 10 or more minutes a game on the season. Baldwin none, with Brown, Jones, Banks, and Hassan Ward, the 5 on the floor for VCU. Ahmad Harrison, the Euro step center of the paint, knocked away out through the baseline. Harrison aggressive on a surge toward the basket, as Fordham will keep possession on a left of the goal inbound. Ahmad Harrison more active on the offensive end tonight.
That's something we really haven't seen all throughout the season. I remember the last time he had 3 shots in one half. If he could figure out a way to get that part of his game going, he could be a huge piece for this team.
Curling Cologne Navarro, the bat out for Harrison. Left block feed Ohams, the bounce to a trailing Rose. Trapped and backs it off on the baseline. 5 to shoot. Cologne Navarro, the righty runner through traffic, in and out. Loose ball batted around the baseline, out through the end line. Last touch by Fordham, VCU possession. As Fordham was struggling to get a shot off, Cologne Navarro ended up with a pretty good look, couldn't hit it.
VCU really just storms you. Every time you see a Fordham offensive player get the ball, it seems like VCU suddenly has 2 guys right there. That possession, no different. Cologne Navarro got a good look in the end, but he couldn't get it to fall.
VCU has started 10 of 13 from the field. Fordham 5 of 15. 14th in the NCAA in defense. This VCU offense has picked it up as well. Fordham trying to hang around against one of the top dogs. Righty floater from Ward over Simbila goes down. And Hassan Ward falls to the floor on the baseline. The junior, after getting it to fall, has 6 early points and in pain just to the left of the basket, and that a scary sight. A non-contact injury as he bangs the hardwood. Will be attended to by the VCU training staff strolling over. Ward, the A-10 leader in defensive rating, preseason All-A-10 defensive team, and All-A-10 defensive team selection a season ago, also picking up the play on the offensive side of the floor this season, and that a piece that VCU cannot afford to lose. As he is attended to by the VCU training staff. We'll take a break. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey there, this is Tom Quigley, your Rangers beat reporter for WFUV Sports. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at TQuigs04, that's TQUIGS04, for all the latest Blue Shirts news and in-game updates. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to WFUV Sports on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for my post-game recaps and for all things WFUV.
VCU 23, Fordham 15. The ball back in play after Ward was helped to the VCU bench, limping with the assistance of trainers. Kelly, the over-the-head possession with Fordham trailing by 8. The left block rainbow pass pulled down by Simbila on the baseline with 10 to shoot. Left elbow Charlton backing down on the defense from Nunn. Stepped on the baseline as he looked to get around. And it's another Fordham turnover, their 9th of this first half.
That baseline hasn't been Fordham's friend all season long. There have been a few games where they just cannot kind of figure out the geography down there. Charlton losing his balance, stepping out, yet another Fordham turnover.
9 in the first half. The backcourt inbound stroll into the front court across the midline. Jaden Nunn. Rose walls him off. Brown Jones at the right elbow. Handoff to a wheeling Josh Banks. Straight away, block F portion of the logo, Ace Baldwin Jr. Defended by Kelly, straight on the 3. Brown Jones sinks it. Mikel Brown-Jones, the sophomore from Philadelphia, 3-point per game scorer off the bench, extends the VCU lead to their largest of the first half. That's 11, 26-15. Kyle Rose headed the key. Possession stripped away. Brown-Jones with it for VCU into the front court. Fordham in a double-digit turnovers in the first half. Baldwin, the lefty, leaner, too strong, and the right block loose ball taken by Kyle Rose. His flutter pass, left arc, Josh Colon-Navarro. Eyeing up the defense from Jaden Nunn, the freshman. Hip pocket possession, Colon-Navarro picks up the dribble, back to the basket. Ram portion of the logo, Pat Kelly. Roaming right arc, handoff for Ahmad Harrison. Simbila the outlet. Back to the basket, Colon-Navarro with 5 to shoot. Stops at the free throw line. His bounce to a cutting Rose underneath. Simbila knocked away. VCU possession left to right. None the bounce. Left of the lane. Possession in and out of the hands of Josh Banks, the sophomore. It's out through the baseline. Last touched by VCU. Fordham will have possession on the other side of this media timeout. 7:54 remains in the first half. VCU out to their largest lead of 11, 26-15. You're listening to Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports.
Chris Hennessy here, reminding you to tune in to our New York Islanders coverage all season long. Follow along for every game as Tyler Mooney and I take you through the historic first season at Belmont Park. On Twitter at WFUV Sports, on the WFUV Sports YouTube page, and wherever you get your podcasts every week on 5 on 3. The New York Islanders here on WFUV Sports.
VCU 26, Fordham 15, 7:54 remaining in the first half. Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our entire WFUV Sports crew. So happy you could spend some of your Tuesday night with us here at the Rose Hill Gym. Fordham still trying to figure out how to get things going offensively, and as we expected coming in, it was the turnovers to be wary of. They've turned it over 10 times in this first half and need to slow it down just a little bit.
And that's the key, it's slowing down because they're playing at the pace. You know, they forced 8 turnovers. So you look at that, that has been good, but VCU is equipped to play turning the ball over. You look last time out, they had 17 turnovers. They had 20 points, though, off of turnovers. That is not Fordham's offense. Fordham is a half-court basketball team, and for them to be successful, they need to slow it down, limit the turnovers, and hit their shots.
Fordham has started 5 of 16 from the field for the team coming in with the lowest field goal percentage in the Atlantic 10. VCU has started 75% from the field, 12 of 16. They have turned it over 8 times. That's how you get a team last in the A-10 in scoring offense, 7 in field goal percentage, and 7th in three-point shooting. They turn it over a whole bunch and turn you over a whole bunch, and that's been the MO for the VCU Rams on the season. Team that has been very good on the road, 7-1 away from home this year. Most road wins since 2019. A win tonight would tie the program's most in a season since 2011-2012 when they went 10-3. Zach Riley set to check in for Fordham. Will inbound to the right of the basket in the backcourt on the floor with Josh Colon-Navarro, Pat Kelly, Ahmad Harrison, and Abdu Simbila. Fordham down by its largest margin of the night. That's 11. The near boundary outlet speeding into the front court. Ahmad Harrison stop outside the restricted area and couldn't stop his momentum in time. Picked up the pivot foot, and it's a travel. Fordham's 11th turnover. The Rams scoreless in the last 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
That's exactly what we're just talking about of Fordham. You know, there's no reason to play at that pace right there. No reason to push the basketball the way Ahmad Harrison just did. He ends up not even reason he turns it over. He just lost his footing there. But Fordham, as we just said, Nick, they need to slow it down when they're on offense.
Baldwin head of the key, straight on 3, Banks. It's good. Josh Banks, the sophomore, Charlotte, North Carolina. 2 points a game scorer, averaging 8 minutes off the bench. Has a three there. It's an 8-0 VCU run. Far corner three. Kelly in and out. Oham's battling for the offensive board. Runs it down far corner. Waist-high possession. The center of the paint. Righty adjustment on the hook. Bangs off the front of the rim. VCU the rebound. Jaden Nunn. Crisscross dribble. 2-step striding to the goal. Left it short. Loose ball along the near side. Out through the near sideline. Last touched by VCU. Fordham possession. As Jaden Nunn couldn't get a handle on it.
And Fordham, that was good defense getting back in transition there, but we're seeing VCU, they're not content, slowing down. They will keep pushing the basketball. Fordham on their end defensively needs to adjust. They did right there.
An 8-0 VCU run. Fordham scoreless in the last 3 minutes and 24 seconds. 7:01 on the first half clock. VCU 29, Fordham 15. The 14-point VCU lead, their largest of the first half. Ahmad Harrison strolling across the midline. The right-handed feed for Riley swiped away. A body hitting the floor, and it's a Fordham turnover. The moving screen. Zach Riley picks up his first foul.
What makes these turnovers frustrating if you're Fordham is this isn't even VCU, generating that pressure. These last few possessions, Ahmad Harrison with the walk, there, the screen that wasn't set. Those are the ones you really can cut back on because VCU is not really doing a great job forcing them.
The hip check sending Banks to the floor. The left elbow jumper by Nunn, in and out. A foul on the floor. Ahmad Harrison hit the deck after the contact on the left elbow. Fordham picks up their sixth foul of the first half as Ahmad Harrison will be charged with his second and take a seat on the far sideline. Riley, Cologne Navarro, Charlton, Ohams, and Kyle Rose, the five on the floor for Fordham, setting up a 2-3 zone. 6.5 minutes remaining first half. VCU by 14, 29-15. Over the head possession, the laser pass, center of the paint, turnaround free throw line jumper in and out from Stockard, the grad from St. Louis. Fordham possession, center of the paint, Cologne Navarro over the midline. Directing traffic, the outstretched right arm. Roaming center of the paint, his no-look pass near corner, jab step by Rose. Hip pocket possession to a cutting Ohams. Left elbow on the baseline, contested by Stockard. Straight away Rose, the extra pass, right arc three, Cologne Navarro. Rolls off, and the bat of the loose ball taken in by VCU, center of the paint, Baldwin. Williams, the between-the-legs dribble. Riley, a hand trying to pry it free. VCU will keep possession. Baldwin backing it out. Block F portion of the logo. 5:40 to go first half. VCU on top by 14. Baldwin, the right elbow jumper in and out. And Ohams trampolines for the right block rebound. Antrell Charlton into the front court. Fordham scoreless in 5 minutes. Near corner three. Rose gets the Rams back on the board. All alone from the near side, Kyle Rose hits the three. 6 first half points, and Fordham trails by 11. 5:10 and ticking first half. Loose ball along the near sideline. A dive by Riley. Banks trying to clamp possession as well. It's out through the near sideline. Last touch by Fordham. VCU will keep possession. 19 on the shot clock. 5:11 on the first half clock. And VCU on top by 11, 29-18.
The good news is for Fordham, they are still playing with that energy, Nick. You saw on offense the last few possessions, ramping it up. Kyle Rose throwing that three. Then on the defensive end, bodies on the floor. That's what Fordham's done all season. They've played hard for 40 minutes. Marcus
Sahonis, the near boundary inbound. Junior Washington transfer, a 6-point per game scorer off the bench. Between the legs dribble, straightaway Nunn. The step back right arc three is good. No, they'll call it a long two over Riley. Jaden Nunn picked it up offensively. VCU very excited about his raw talent as a freshman and extends the VCU lead to 31-18. Rose, the shot fake. His left arc three in and out. Ohams yanks down the offensive rebound right to the basket. Soars back up. Leaves it off front rim, but a foul called. As Ohams active on the offensive glass. We'll send him to the free throw line as Jalen DeLuca, the freshman from Savannah, Georgia, picks up his first foul.
And OAM's notably still absent from the scoring column. If Fordham wants any chance in this one, they're going to need their big man to get it going down low.
Couple of bounces. Chuba eyeing up the goal. His first in and out. Ohams with 18 points, 14 rebounds against Duquesne on Saturday. His 13 double-doubles this season are 8th most in the entire country. And that one place where Fordham figured to have some semblance of an advantage tonight down low with how explosive he is, and yet still yet to get on the scoreboard as Ohams hits the second. We'll get another one because of a lane violation.
And that's been what has happened all season with Chuba OMs, getting the second chances to capitalize from the lane violations of these teams. They just can't figure out his form, Nick. We're late into the season, and it's still happening all the time.
Bangs the next free throw off the back heel. So VCU's lead is 12, 31-19, 4.5 minutes to go first half. Chuba Ohams onto the board with 1 point. Left arc Baldwin, straightaway Williams, between the legs dribble, shielded by Riley, right of the paint drive, the pump fake rolls with the left, it swirls in. Vince Williams on the baseline drive to a team-high 9 points in the first half for VCU. The inbound knocked away from Cologne Navarro out through the baseline. Fordham with another possession to get it in once again. VCU a 33-19, 14-point lead, 4:10 to go first half. Cam Cunningham, the give and go for Cologne Navarro, right to left into the front court. The rainbow floater with the right rolls out, and the underneath the basket board for VCU. In transition, right arc feed none. Bowling over Ohams outside the restricted area. It's a foul on VCU. Fordham possession on the other side of the under 4 timeout.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
NCAA Top 25, number 19 ranked Michigan fixing things up with an 8-0 run to begin the second half over Penn State. They are currently up 36-27. Meanwhile, Texas leads Oklahoma 26-23 with 4:19 left to go in the first half. And number 9 ranked Duke is taking care of Wake Forest so far. They're up 35-23. Bruins still up on the Rangers 1-0, so no scoring change there from our previous update. But the Islanders and Buffalo are now all knotted up at 1, and the same score between the Lightning and the Devils. One-on-one scoreboard update on WFUV 90.7 FM, sending you back to Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware for the rest of the first half.
.358 remaining on the first half clock. VCU 33, Fordham 19. Fordham just 1 of its last 11 from the field. 6 of 22 in this first half. That's 27%. VCU has cooled off just a touch. 15 of 22 at 68% in the first half. The foul heading into the media timeout went to Jaden Nunn, bowling over Chuba Ohams, his second turnover and first foul in the first half. So Fordham with possession back, trailing by 14. And the shots have not been falling, but to me, the bigger issue that has to be talked about in this Fordham huddle right now is the 12 turnovers. We've talked about it a number of times, but Fordham's just not going to be able to win this way.
No, especially when they're shooting 27%, and they're having to play at this fast pace. We saw last possession, pretty play on the inbound, getting Josh Navarro, but him pushing it to the basket early in the shot clock, that's not Fordham's offense. They haven't done that all year. 12 turnovers, as we've kind of alluded to, Nick, in this one, that will not get it done. VCU does have 9, but as we've said, they play turning the ball over. Fordham does not. We know early in the season the magic number was 11. It may have skewed a bit these last few games, but for Fordham, they need to figure out a way to get the ball into the front court with ease.
Another aspect of this game to pay attention to, again, the rebounding battle. VCU 10-0 when they out-rebound opponents, 5-7 when they are at a deficit on the glass. So far, Fordham out-rebounding VCU 13-12. And on the offensive glass, Fordham with a 6-1 advantage. VCU has allowed 15 or more offensive rebounds in 3 of their last 5 games. Fordham has double-digit offensive rebounds in 3 straight, so seeing if the maroon and white can continue an advantage on the offensive glass, trailing by 14. Across the midline, Ram portion of the logo, Antrell Charlton. The ball at his waist, pointing out, directing traffic with 15 on the shot clock. His crisscross dribble, left to the paint drive, stops on the elbow. Straightaway free throw line, the tuck by Oham. Straightaway Charlton, 5 on the shot clock, shielded. Left elbow fall away jumper, too short, missing everything. It's out through the baseline. A save attempt by Cunningham wouldn't matter, didn't hit the rim. And Fordham, a shot clock violation as the VCU defense continues to suffocate.
And those are possessions there where VCU, they're just outmatching Fordham. It's a mismatch on that end of the floor for Fordham. You need to figure out ways, again, Nick, we keep saying it, but you got to get better shot attempts.
Jaden Nunn with 2 first-half points. The hesitation dribble. Defense from Oham. Stop on the hash marks. Bounce pass intercepted. Cologne Navarro near side. Left elbow Charlton. Over the head pass. Corner 3 on the rotation from Cunningham. In and out. And VCU grabs the board. It's Nunn left to right. Stops head of the key. His shovel for Baldwin. Possession poked away. Cologne Navarro on the shovel. Give and go from Charlton. And lays it in with the left. Possession batted around at the midline. Fordham taking advantage. Josh Cologne Navarro for Antrell Charlton, who has the 2. And Fordham's lead for VCU trimmed to 12. The give and go. Right elbow Jalen DeLuca floats it in, and the VCU lead right back to 14, 2:15 to go first half.
And Charlton took a gamble there going for the steal, ended up getting the ball to go past him, and VCU took the easy layup opportunity.
Right of the lane drive, Cam Cunningham going to work, bowling over a defender with an offensive foul called. Cunningham picks up his first as Williams hit the deck, and it's another Fordham turnover, up to 14 in this first half. 2:10 remaining, and VCU on top 35-21. Fordham with just 7 field goals in the first 18 minutes tonight. Sahanis across the midline, his shovel for Baldwin. Low to the ground dribble, over the head pass, deflected by Riley near sideline. The pass intended for Sahonis, tipped through the near sideline. Last touch by Fordham. VCU keeps possession, 15 on the shot clock in the final 1:55 of the first half. VCU on top 35-21. Block F portion of the logo. Wallace eyeing up the defense from Riley. Screen right, DeLuca doesn't use it. The switch for Ohams. The hooking around Williams. The straight on 3 goes down. Contested. Vince Williams overrose a difficult shot. He's got 12 first half points, and VCU's first half lead is 17, 38-21. Left to the paint, stopped by Riley. Outlet near corner 3. Kelly, all net. Pat Kelly on the catch and shoot. The feed from Zach Riley. Fordham answers, trailing by 14, 38-24. Final 1:10 to go first half. Sahonis, the fall away 2 off front rim. Ohams bounces for the right block board. His pass right to left into the front court, deflected away. Williams, the bounce left of the lane, and the flush. Keyshawn Curry driving to the basket. Fordham looking to slow down the pace. Curry playing with the 2 fouls, has the slam, and VCU a 40-24, 16-point lead. Chuba Oham's a 5th turnover in this first half. Riley to flip for Cologne Navarro straight away. Left elbow float. Oham's on the left baseline with 10 to shoot. Driving on the defense. Knocked away by DeLuca. Loose ball taken in by VCU. Sahonis roaming to the center of the perimeter. Contact on the outside. And it's a moving screen called on VCU. They'll turn it over an 11th time in this first half, as Vince Williams picks up his first foul. VCU 40, Fordham 24, the final 25 seconds of the first half. Fordham shooting at 29%, VCU at 69%. Josh Colon Navarro, a strolling dribble across the midline. Fordham will use a timeout with 20.4 remaining. Listening to Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports.
Coming up with the one-on-one halftime report, we'll have a one-on-one scoreboard with Sebastian Seabach and a first half recap with a look ahead to the second half with Mike Calamari. I will also be talking with A10 Talk writer and WFUV alum Sam Basil. Stay tuned for that right here on 90.7 FM.
Be sure to stay tuned for that. Sam always offering some outstanding insights, his finger on the pulse of this Fordham program. With the maroon and white trailing by 16 here in the final 20.4 seconds. VCU, 5 of their last 6 from the field, and Fordham has struggled to get it going really on both ends of the floor tonight. But some careless decision making with the basketball. VCU able to find high quality shots to the tune of shooting it just a touch under 70%. And Fordham trying to at least make a dent in a 16-point lead in the final possession of the first half. Ram portion of the logo, the flutter pass, Ohams to a cutting Rose on the right baseline, flips it up with the right off the glass and good. The laser feed from Ohams, the inbound left of the goal from Brown Jones is knocked away. That'll close out the first half of play with VCU on top by 14, 40-26 after the opening frame. Fordham led by Josh Colon Navarro with 11, Kyle Rose with 5, Chuba Ohams with just 1 point in the first 20 minutes for VCU. Vince Williams, their top scorer, with 12 in the first half. Keyshawn Curry had 8 and 6 from Hassan Ward before leaving with an injury in the first 20 minutes of play. VCU 40, Fordham 26. The one-on-one halftime report. Back to our Rose Hill studios with Mike Calamari.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Welcome back into our Rose Hill studios. I'm Michael Calamari. Fordham trailing by 14 in this one to VCU. VCU 40. The Fordham Rams 26. A lot to talk about on this one-on-one halftime report. You're going to get my thoughts on the first half and a preview of the second half. We're also going to have Sam Basil with A10 Talk with an interview with Ryan Gregware. But before all of that, we're going to send it over to Sebastian Seabach with another one-on-one scoreboard.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Penn State hanging in there against Michigan State, still trailing 43-37 with 11:09 left to go in the game. Meanwhile, Texas still leads Oklahoma 31-29 with 26 seconds left to go in the first half, and Duke is still taking care of Wake Forest. They're up 42-33 at halftime. No scoring change between the Boston Bruins and New York Rangers. Boston still up 1-0. Same thing with the Islanders and Buffalo, all tied up 1, but the Devils have taken a 2-1 lead against the Tampa Bay Lightning. One-on-one scoreboard update on WFUV, sending you back to Mike Calamari with your halftime report.
Fordham Rams trailing this one 40-26 to the VCU Rams. Disappointing first half for the Rams. 15 turnovers. Chuba Ohams after a strong performance against Duquesne. Just 1 point. 0 for 4 from the field. Josh Colon Navarro leading the way with 11 points on the other side of things. Williams leading the way for VCU. He's got 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting. We're going to get to all of the talk on the first half and a preview of the second half. Before we do so, we're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Gymnasium. Ryan Gregware is there with A10 Talks, Sam Basil. Let's see what they have to say. Over to the Rose Hill Gymnasium.
Thanks, Mike. We're back here at Rose Hill Gym with A10 Talk writer and WFUV alum Sam Basil. And Sam, first, I just want to start off this game overall. Fordham down in this one 40-26. The offense really hasn't gotten it going. What have you seen from their effort here tonight?
Yeah, so far, I mean, it seems like Fordham, coming into this game, you kind of expected VCU to play this type of basketball, right? Scrappy, forcing turnover-heavy basketball, and Fordham has just not had the time to adjust. They're trying to get three-pointers to, kind of close the gap. But as we've seen so far this season, that's not really Fordham's strength. A lot of their offensive production comes under the basket. But when you panic and you try to shoot threes to close the gap, you just end up extending that gap even further.
No Darius Quisenberry, obviously, here tonight. They were without him last game in a win over Duquesne. What do you think his absence here tonight, going forward, means for this team?
I mean, with Fordham, it's clearly that they have to, make a readjustment in terms of, their shot selection. Darius Quisenberry the ball has obviously moved a lot through him so far this season, especially in those games that Chuba was out with a knee injury. So, now they're going to have to kind of go back to that style that's very focused on Chuba, having him kind of at the top of the key. It seems like they've really adjusted well to that kind of, playing big man style with Chuba at the 4 and Abdus and Bila at the 5. So, as long as they can keep working on that and maybe get some more pick and roll going on, I think they'll have a better chance at, playing that low scoring, scrappy basketball that Fordham is so, prone to do.
Now, overall on this season, it's been there's been highs and there's been lows. There's been a lot of in between as well. First year, obviously under Coach Cal Neptune. Just wondering, if you've been around this team before, obviously, being a WFUV guy, seeing this new staff, seeing what they've done throughout the year. What have your been impressions early on in the Cal Neptune era?
I mean, it's been a complete change from top to bottom. In terms of the culture around this team, how this team plays on the court and how they play with each other. I mean, the biggest thing, obviously, that we've seen so far is the change in offense. Under Jeff Neubauer, it seemed like, they were really trying to go for more of a defensive-minded game. 1 year under Neubauer, they ranked, in top 10 in the country in defense. But the detriment of that was that there was little to no, offense. In a conference that is so guard-heavy and so keen to shoot the three-pointer, Fordham just could not compete, and they could only really win those games like you saw against Dayton last season where they won, 56-55, 49-47. But now Coach Neptune's got these guys shooting. He's got, he switched kind of his rotation halfway through the season, but, he was playing 4 guards out, and it's really helped Fordham adjust to the play style that the A-10 is so known for and is so tenacious with.
Yeah, to me, it's been the game planning that they've gone in. The execution maybe hasn't been there. Maybe the players that they're really pushing towards haven't been there yet. But just wondering from your perspective in this season, going into it to now, we're probably 2/3 into it. Biggest surprises for the Fordham team throughout the year?
I mean, it's definitely been the continued development of Chuba Ohams. I mean, this is his graduate season, right? I mean, I think this is his 6th year of eligibility with the Fordham Rams, and it's just so remarkable to see, how he's come along and become such an all-around versatile player. You know what I mean? I mean, he with the beginning of this year, he kind of fit into this rotation as almost a true 5, helping out, Antonio Day, Darius Quisenberry. But now as this team has kind of had to adjust this roster and change their game plan, I mean, you see him more at the top of the key. He's shooting more threes, and he's kind of just all over the court. So, I mean, his improvement has probably been the high mark of this season so far for Rams.
Now, A-10 talk, you're a part of that. The A-10 overall, I want to ask a few questions about because the league is fascinating this year. The parity, it really looks like anybody can beat anybody on any given night. What have been some impressions on the A-10 overall this year?
Yeah, so the A-10 is one of those leagues. It's kind of tough to evaluate as a mid-major conference, you know what I mean? So they have not had they've been a multiple bid league every year since 2005. That was the last time they've had just one bid. But I think, in the A-10 community, people have always been worried that at this point in the season, the conference tends to eat itself alive. A lot of top teams that, enter the season top in the preseason poll, maybe have, floated around the AP top 25, are losing winnable games. Like you've seen Davidson over the weekend losing to Rhode Island. St. Louis, who was kind of making a push into the bubble this past couple weeks, lost 2 games in a row to St. Bonaventure. So, while that might be detrimental in terms of a bid conversation, I think it just speaks to the parity of the A-10 and how competitive this league is. If this league can continue to get more exposure over the next couple of years, especially with, the introduction of Loyola Chicago next season, they are going to be on the national spotlight a lot more, and the conversation is not going to be, oh my God, is this going to be a one-bid league? Rather, is this going to potentially be a perennial 3 to 4 bid conference?
Now this year I do want to ask about the bids because I think it's fascinating. You had St. Louis, you mentioned on the bubble, losing 2 straight to St. Bonaventure. VCU on that bubble as well. Dayton, there's some talk there. St. Bonaventure's a talent to run away, in the A10 tournament. What are your thoughts, projecting here towards March? Are we looking at just Davidson? Are we looking at maybe a second team that steals a bid here? What are your thoughts on how many teams the A10 can send to March Madness?
Yeah, so I think it really depends on what happens in the A10 tournament, you know what I mean? So I think there's probably 3 to 4 teams right now that could potentially get an at-large bid. But in the best case scenario for the A10 right now is that Davidson makes the conference tournament final and then loses to a team like VCU, like St. Louis, like Richmond. Because right now Davidson has the best non-conference resume right now. I mean, you look at a team like VCU, for example, tonight, like we've seen. They can compete with anybody in the Atlantic 10. But you look at their non-conference schedule this year, they dropped the game to Wagner, who's a good team, but they're in a much lower conference than the Atlantic 10. They dropped the game to UConn. St. Bonaventure, they were a great team coming in, but they've kind of floundered after taking such a long time off due to COVID pauses, positive tests within the program. So right now, I think your best shot is Davidson losing in the final to a team like Dayton. Because right now, Dayton's non-conference resume has pretty much stayed one of the best in the conference. I mean, you've got that amazing win against Kansas at the ESPN Events Invitational earlier this season, and you've got such a young, exciting core at that Dayton team, and I think they're probably the best shot.
Sam Basil of 810 Talk. One last question quickly for you now, shifting to the second half, previewing it. How can Fordham get back into this one and make this a competitive game versus VCU?
I think Fordham needs to, kind of just play to VCU's level. I mean, we've seen Fordham play that kind of scrappy defense that VCU has kind of been challenging them with so far. They need to just get past that full court press, move the ball, and improve their transition game. I mean, you've seen plenty of solid layups from Josh Colon-Navarro, trying to get back in that, but, they just need to compete and just get faster.
Sam, appreciate the time. Thank you for coming on. At this halftime show, we're going to send it back to our Rose Hill studios with a one-on-one halftime report.
Welcome back into our Rose Hill studios. Michael Calamari here alongside Sebastian Seabach. Fordham once again trailing this one 14 points, 40-26. And Sebastian, if you look at this game, it's been, kind of a disappointing first half in many respects.
Yeah, it's been disappointing indeed. Fordham, they're shooting 32% from the field, 3 for 12 from deep. And one thing that, kind of stands out to me is, how poorly Chuba Ohms has played. He's 0 for 4 in shooting-wise. He has 5 turnovers on the game. And, VCU, they're a team that, came in, they're going to turn the ball over, but they're also going to get a lot of turnovers as well. So, and one thing that they're doing as well is they're converting their shots 18 for 26, 69% from the field. But, overall, it's just been a lackluster performance from Fordham in the first half.
Yeah, I think you put it perfect. You look at the shooting percentage for VCU, 18 for 26 from the field. That's a 69 percentage from the field, and they've only taken 4 threes. This is a team that's going to get their points inside the paint. 26 of their 40 points coming from inside the paint. They've only been to the line one time, and they've hit that one free throw, 1 for 1 from the line, and only taken 4 threes. So almost all of their points coming inside the paint, coming down low, and that's what they're doing a great job of. They're getting high percentage looks, and you have to look at a Fordham defense that's been the backbone of this team all season long, and it just doesn't seem like they're getting it done today. This is a VCU team that's also turned the ball over themselves, 12 turnovers to Fordham's 15, and both teams scoring off of turnovers. VCU 18 points off of turnovers, but Fordham 13 as well. In those respects, it's a pretty even game. It just comes down to the looks that VCU is getting versus the looks that Fordham's getting. Fordham 3 for 12 from 3, while VCU 3 for 4 from 3. The efficiency is why VCU is in the lead in this game, and that's why Fordham's behind. And if you look at Fordham's all season, I think this game, in many respects, is a microcosm of their season. They play hard. They play to every end of every whistle, and they're probably the hardest working team on the floor, but it's the efficiency. Are they going to be efficient? And it's inconsistent. There's some games where you really look at this Fordham team as an offensive threat, getting it done from 3, scoring inside the paint and behind the arc, but today it's just not their day shooting-wise, and that's what really the weakness is of this Fordham Rams team. But if there's one certainty about this team is that they will fight, so it should be a very interesting second half. Once again, VCU 40, Fordham 26. It's now time to send it back to the Rose Hill Gymnasium with Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware on the call. You are listening to Fordham Men's Basketball on WFUV Sports and 90.7 FM.
Thanks, Mike. Back here at the Rose Hill Gym, Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our on-site producer Danny Scott, our entire WFUV Sports crew at the break. VCU 40, Fordham 26, a 14-point second half starting deficit for the maroon and white at home tonight, and shooting 32% from the field to VCU's 69%. The turnovers have certainly been an issue, but they've been an issue for both sides. I want to start with Fordham's defense here, because VCU's shooting it at 70%. That clip needs to improve if Fordham wants to find a way to stay in this game.
I'm glad you're starting there, because Fordham's path to winning this game is making it really ugly. Well, they've made it ugly, but just for themselves. The defense, that's what this team, really focuses on all season. 69%. I imagine, obviously, the shooting, the half-court offense needs to improve, getting it up the court. But what I think that this team really should have focused on in that halftime, locker room is the defense. That's what they always predicate themselves on. Coach Neptune, I talked to him before the game about the shots. He said guys' defense just gives them confidence to hit down shots. Well, the defense hasn't been there at all, and the shot making really hasn't been there.
Just 9 made field goals on 28 attempts in the first half. The rebounding battle that Fordham had an opportunity to take advantage of is even at the break, 14-14. Fordham with 7 offensive rebounds, but the Fordham Rams in a difficult spot, down 14 against one of the top teams in the Atlantic 10. And get the feeling that if VCU is going to shoot this way, it's going to be very difficult for Fordham to get out of that hole. But I guess I'll pose the question, what does Fordham need to do to start digging out? And it seems to start with Chuba Ohams, who was held to just 1 point on 0-4 from the field.
Yeah, they need to play their style of basketball. They didn't do so really at all in the first half. Those last few possessions before half, you see Chuba Ohams trying to throw it across the court to Josh Navarro. That's not what the team has done all year. You obviously have to pinpoint Ohams. 1 point, 5 turnovers. He is someone you need to succeed if you want to succeed as well.
With VCU trying to continue their excellence atop the A10, 131-57 against A10 opponents since joining the league in 2012-2013. That 700 winning percentage is good for best in the conference. Fordham to work on offense with the ball back in play to open the second half. Curling around Kyle Rose, the jump stop right block. He elevates, and the shot knocked away as it falls to the floor. A foul called on the interior with Kyle Rose attacking the basket. Jalen DeLuca, the freshman, will pick up his second as Kyle Rose heads to the free throw line to open up the second half.
And attacking the basket like Kyle Rose did there, that's really been the only success this team's had. Josh Navarro with 11 points. He drilled that 3, but besides that, has had some drives to the rim. That maybe could be a way this team finds a way to get some spark offensively.
Rose hits the first and sinks the second. So Fordham, the first bucket of the second half, trailing by 12, 40-28. The over-the-head pass across the midline near side for Keyshawn Curry. His pass to a trailing Williams is shoveled out. The right arc 3 bangs off the front of the rim from none, and Fordham claims possession on the right of the lane rebound for Kyle Rose. Antrell Charlton, hesitation, back to the basket on the perimeter. Heels on the three-point line. Block F portion of the logo. Waste time possession. Josh Navarro with 15 to shoot. Approaching a minute in second half. Fordham trails by 12. Screen left Simbila drawing a double team. Navarro near side Rose. Right arc 3. Bangs off the right of the rim. Ohams looking to run down the baseline. Loose ball. Last touched by VCU. Out through the left of the baseline. And Fordham keeps possession with a new 20 on the shot clock. Trailing by 12. A minute in to the second half. Antrell Charlton to float for Oham, center of the paint. One bounce, shoulders off a defender, lays it up, rolls out, but a foul called. Chuba Oham's aggressive to the basket on the center of the paint float from Charlton, bowling over the defender just outside the restricted area. As Jalen DeLuca picks up what will be his third foul and second of the second half here early, and Oham's to the free throw line with DeLuca in foul trouble. That a big development as Oham's nails the first, because Hassan Ward, one of the top interior defenders in the entire Atlantic 10, is out due to injury sustained in the first half, and now DeLuca, another big man in foul trouble. Ohams leaves the second off the front of the rim. Left of the lane rebound taken in by Vince Williams and VCU. The black and gold with an 11-point lead here in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Over the head dump, the jab step, the shoulder fake straight on Williams, drawing a double team with 10 to shoot. None. Button hooking around. Over the head possession for Baldwin, shielded by Cologne Navarro. Right arc possession, Curry. The step back three rolls off the front of the rim. And the right of the lane rebound taken in by Chuba Ohams. Josh Cologne Navarro, the chest high outlet bounce for Ohams. Left of the lane, backing down Williams. Shoulders off his righty runner off the front of the rim. Loose possession is batted around near sideline. Last touched by VCU. Fordham will keep it with 20 on the shot clock, trailing by 11. Approaching 2 minutes in second half. Josh Cologne Navarro, hounded by Ace Baldwin. Screen left from Simbilla. The roll for Rose, right arc. Jab step hesitation, stop at the free throw line. A-10 stamp to a curling Charlton. Pass intercepted. Curry left to right into the front court. The right of the lane drive laid off the glass and knocked away. No call on a goaltending potentially. VCU with the basketball, right of the lane drive. The lefty hook rolls off the rim and drops for Levi Stockard. The grad from St. Louis, Kansas State transfer. 6-point per game scorer. Right arc three, Cologne Navarro bangs off the left of the rim. And the left of the goal rebound taken in by Vince Williams. The stop in the front court. Contact as bodies plummet to the floor. Cologne Navarro running in to Stockard, and Josh Cologne Navarro is going to pick up a blocking foul. With 17:24 on the second half clock. VCU 42, Fordham 29. With Fordham scoreless in the last minute and a half. And VCU still trying to find their footing offensively. Just 1 of 4 start to the second frame. Float on the perimeter for Stockard. Between the legs dribble for Jaden Nunn. Williams the outlet. Right arc possession, Keyshawn Curry. The give and go handoff. Center of the paint. Surge blocked away underneath. A whistle out through the baseline as it was last touched by Fordham. VCU keeps possession, with Fordham doing a much better job on the defensive end to start this second half.
And they have done a better job at really stopping what VCU wants to do. VCU running good sets, getting good opportunities, but Fordham's closed out on them. And thus far, though, with the offense not, turning around, it hasn't mattered.
Straightaway hesitation, Curry. Baldwin the float for Stockard, left of the lane. Flips it up off the glass, and it falls. A whistle. And the foul called on the floor. Josh Cologne Navarro picks up his second. And it will send Stockard to the free throw line for 2. With VCU on top 44-29 and a chance to add to it.
A really good switch there by VCU, getting, a 240-pound Stockard on 5'10", Josh Cologne Navarro. I know their offense, only 4 points in the second half, but they look like they're really in control when they have the basketball.
Curling around Pat Kelly, the handoff for Cologne Navarro. Stockard hitting the shot, now the free throw. Right to the lane drive. Ohams, the adjustment, hesitation off the glass, and it falls. Chuba Ohams to 4 points. And Fordham trailing 44-31. Near corner possession into the front court. Keyshawn Curry, the outlet near side. Wheeling around straightaway Baldwin. Defense from Cologne Navarro. Screen right Stockard. The roll, center of the paint, tumbling toward the goal. Flips it up, left it short off front rim. Foul called on the hip contact. Kyle Rose in the center of the paint draws the foul on the floor. It's Kyle Rose's third and Fordham's third of this second half. And a guy who's going to have to be careful. Can't afford to lose Kyle Rose if you're Fordham. Stockard on the right block feed, left it off front rim. His follow on a tip, left short. It's out through the baseline. Last touched by VCU. Fordham basketball.
And there's that defensive anchor, Chuba Ohams, down in the paint. We haven't seen it really here tonight. VCU's done a good job getting the ball over him, switching away from him. There, the anchor showed up.
Ohams with a Fordham high 8 rebounds. Home team trailing by 13. Kelly curling around, right arc three. Too strong, the long rebound taken in left elbow by Curry. His bounce right to the lane drive, the scoop pass. Williams left it off front rim, the follow in off the glass. The fast break opportunity, Williams getting his own miss to 14 points in VCU. A 15-point lead, 46-31, 15-40 remaining second half. Chuba Ohams, the shoulder to create separation. The bump by Levi Stockard near side of the lane. Will draw the foul. The first for Stockard and the second for VCU of the second half to send us to immediate timeout. VCU 46, Fordham 31.
Hey everyone, I'm Kayla Wenzel, reminding you to follow WFUV Sports on all your social media platforms. Check out our Twitter or Instagram by searching at WFUV Sports. This way you can follow along with our New York beat reporters in and post-game reports. You can also find highlights from today's basketball game and even links for our one-on-one broadcasts. Our social media keeps you up to date with all WFUV coverage, so make sure you give us a follow so that you never miss an update.
$15.40 remaining in this one. VCU out to a 46-31 15-point lead. They've led by as many as 17 tonight to close out the first half. Fordham looking to find an answer in what has been an uneven night on both ends of the floor. Have turned it over 16 times against the 14th ranked scoring defense in the entire country. In VCU, a team that leads the A-10 in turnovers and turnovers forced, has been more of the same tonight. 12 turnovers, the 16 forced. But Fordham looking for an answer to that pressure and to get some shots to fall. They've followed up, shooting 9 of 28 in the first half with just 1 of 5 to start the second.
The turnovers have been better, just 1 in this second half. But when you're not making shots and you're already down double digits, it doesn't really seem like it's mattered. Nick, you have to find ways offensively. I think they've done a better job of slowing it down and not pushing to the basket. But if the shots aren't falling, you have nothing to show for it. So they have to figure out a way to get the ball in the basket at a higher clip.
30% from the field for Fordham, 3 of 15 from three-point range. A spot where they were more effective last time out against Duquesne. They were 7 of 17. Had shot 20 or more three-pointers in the 8 previous games leading in to last time out over the weekend. And just the 3rd time all season they shot above 40% from long range, and that not the output that Fordham was looking for tonight. And yet, taking the shots, just not able to hit them. 3 of 15 from long range this evening. Antrell Charlton will inbound to the left of the goal with Ahmad Harrison checking back in for Fordham. Pat Kelly twisting possession, right arc Charlton. 15 on the shot clock, shielded on the VCU defense by Curry. Straight away Harrison, left arc, drawing a double team. His pass inside, Simbilla rolls it off. The left of the rim, loose ball underneath. Thrown by Vince Williams on the baseline, trying to save it, but stepped on the baseline first. Last touched by VCU. Fordham with a fresh 20 on the shot clock, trailing by 15.
And Simbilla just 9 minutes in this one. VCU's been playing a little too fast-paced for him, but you figure in the second half to try to generate some offense, getting him in the game, giving OMs another presence down low could only help.
Left arc three, Charlton too strong. The left of the lane rebound clamped by Keyshawn Curry, badgered by Riley in the backcourt along the far sideline, extending his hands up as he made contact. And a Fordham foul called on Riley, his first and Fordham's fourth of the second half. 15-10 and ticking. And VCU in the second half out to a 15-point lead, 46-31. Straight away Curry, the windmill pass Baldwin. Left arc possession, shut off by Kelly. The pass deflected. Near side taken in by Charlton. The bounce into the front court outside the restricted area. Simbilla goes up with the left, leaves it off the front of the rim. But a foul called on the interior. Abdou Simbilla on the bounce outlet by Charlton. Fordham moving quickly in that spot, and Abdou Simbilla will head to the free throw line to try and stem the tide on a 2-minute Fordham scoreless drought.
And I know I just talked about Simbilla, but he is one of the guys who I look at the beginning of the year to where he is now. He really has grown as a player. Coach Neptune called him a physical freak just a few games ago, and you saw, the presence, the stats weren't there. However, the last few games, at least on the rebounding boards, they have been there. So for Simbilla to keep continuing to improve, especially when this team's lost some pieces, it's been big for this team.
First rims out, second good for Simbilla, who's averaged 4.5 points a game over his last four. A 14-point VCU lead, 46-32, 14.5 minutes remaining in this one. Curry straight away, Baldwin left arc, guarded by Kelly, and a foul away from the basketball. Zach Riley will pick up a second foul, reaching at the right wrist of the big man Levi Stockard on the near block. VCU will inbound from the near sideline on top by 14. Waist-high possession, the float over the head to the far sideline, run down by Brown Jones, nearly avoiding yet another VCU turnover. Shoulder shake, none. Ram portion of the logo, crossover dribble straight away. The pass to the left baseline, the cut blocked away by Simbilla. Brown Jones going up, and Simbilla, the physical freak on the interior, sending it back with authority out through the baseline. VCU keeps possession with 1 on the shot clock.
And he elevated on that one. He got all the way up there to match VCU at the rim.
Ace Baldwin will inbound to the right of the goal. Curling around for VCU, it's none. He fell to the floor. Riley the defense, and a shot clock violation for the basketball, made possible by that block by Simbilla. 14-12 remaining. VCU 46, Fordham 32. The sprint into the front court. Charlton stops. Block F portion of the logo. Walled off by Curry. The crossover, right elbow stop on the right block. The shot fake going up. Possession knocked away. It falls to the floor. A foul called. Charlton drawing the contact. It's Keyshawn Curry who will be whistled for the foul, his third. As Antrell Charlton aggressive to the basket. 11 points, 6 rebounds against Duquesne last time out. Double-figure scoring in back-to-back outings. Had not scored 10-plus in the previous 5 ahead of this stretch. Trying to get things going offensively in the second half as he's too strong on the first. Yet to score in this one, 0-4 from the field.
And scoring isn't Charlton's game, right? We know he is defensive first, but you figure in this game we talked about, leading the team versus St. Bonaventure with double digits last time out, that he was heading in the right direction. Well, in this one, that hasn't really been the case, still scoreless, looking for the first point.
2 more assists tonight, has multiple assists in now 18 straight games. Charlton nails the second free throw to cut the VCU lead to 13, 46-33, 13:50 remaining in the second half. A foot in front of the midline, the shovel, right arc Baldwin, over the head pass, straight away Brown-Jones, back to the basket, the pivot foot Josh Banks to a curling Nunn, left of the goal drive, walled off on the baseline by Charlton, the bounce right block, shoveled up off the glass, on a beautiful find, it's Brown-Jones. VCU 48, Fordham 33, a 15-point lead, 13:20 on the second half clock. Fordham into the front court, underneath the basket, and now will work the perimeter. Screen left, Simbilla, Charlton back to the basket. The bounce straight away, Kelly. Near side feed, Harrison, right baseline. Shielded on the defense by Brown-Jones. Charlton, the fall-away baseline jumper with 5 to shoot. On the shot clock, rolls off the left of the rim. The battle for the baseline rebound out to the left of the goal. Fordham will pick up a foul. Their 6th of the second half. VCU possession on a right of the goal inbound. Abdu Simbilla guilty of the loose ball foul, his first.
One thing you can't say about Fordham's offense today is they're playing selfish, because that last possession they made the extra pass at least 5 times, just not able to get any separation and get a shot up.
The left arc 3 off the front of the rim for Ace Baldwin. Zach Riley runs down the rebound into the front court. Far corner pass for Pat Kelly. Straight away Charlton. His chest-high pass is knocked away. Out to the far sideline by Josh Banks. VCU touching it last. 19 on the shot clock. 12:32 remaining in the second half. With VCU on top by 15, 48-33. Fordham has shot at just 28%. 1 of 8 to start the second half. Riley, the stop on the A-10 stamp, curling around Charlton. The bounce for Nowitzki, who's checked in on the baseline. Bowling over, none. And a whistle as Nowitzki, going aggressive to the goal, will draw the foul on Josh Banks, who picks up his first in VCU's 6th.
And if you get Ross Nowitzki, who's 6'10", on 6'3", Banks, you will take that matchup anytime. You get Banks fortunate, though, to get the foul and reset this VCU defense.
Ahmad Harrison, the handoff to a roaming Antrell Charlton. Between the legs dribble. Screen right from Nowitzki. The roll, the pass, left block. Nowitzki, the bobble, the bounce. Trailing Kelly, lays it in with the right. Pat Kelly on the assist from Nowitzki. It's a 13-point VCU lead, 48-35. 12 minutes remaining. Possession poked away on the near block. It was Stockard with possession out through the baseline. Last touched by Fordham. And VCU will have possession in the front court on the other side of this media timeout. Fordham looking to close the gap, trailing by 13. VCU 48, Fordham 35 in the final 12 minutes tonight. Back to our Rose Hill studios, a one-on-one scoreboard with Sebastian Seabach.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Breaking news in the MLB today, Ryan Zimmerman, 16-year vet and World Series champ for the Washington Nationals, has officially announced his retirement. Free agent Matt Harvey also just testified in court today for the drug scandal that resulted in the death of Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs. NCAA, Nova and Providence just underway. Nova up 13-10 with 3 minutes in the game. Michigan State closes out Penn State with a nail-biter, 62-58 win over the Spartans. Oklahoma now leads Texas 36-35, 4 minutes into the second half, and Duke is putting Wake Forest out of reach right now. They're up by 14. NHL, low-scoring game at Madison Square Garden with the Bruins still up on the Rangers 1-0. Buffalo originally jumped out to a 2-1 lead to begin the second period over the Islanders, but Anders Lee had other ideas with a little flick of the wrist to tie it at 2. Meanwhile, the Devils still lead the Lightning 3-1, so no score change there. Sebastian Seabach here with your one-on-one update on WFUV Sports.
11:57 remaining. VCU 48, Fordham 35 from the Rose Hill Gym. This is the 12th all-time meeting between these two schools. VCU has won 10 of 11, including 4 straight. Fordham's lone win came in January of 2017, a 69-67 buzzer beater in overtime by Antoine Anderson. It was the first double-digit rebound game of Chuba Oham's career. And tonight, Chuba with 8 rebounds and a lot more experience than was had in that lone Fordham win all time against VCU. But the Rams in maroon and white trailing by 13, trying to get things going offensively. Just 2 of 9 from the field to open up the second half. And the arrow's got to be pointed at Oham's trying to get things going as one of their top offensive weapons.
The defense in this half, too, has given them a chance, right? That was the big thing we talked about, 70% in the first half, just 33 in this one. So then you do have to shift to the offense. And Chuba Oham's, you mentioned that double-digit rebound game. Well, this is a different Chuba Oham's, right? This Chuba Oham's is top 20 in scoring, top 10 and a ton of other statistics in the A-10. Just 4 points in this one, 1 field goal for him. We've seen him in the second half be a little more aggressive with his back to the basketball. We need him to take just another step and continue to get the ball rolling.
And out of the timeout, remains on the bench with VCU possession on the right of the goal inbound. Oham's been held to just 4 points. Again, Fordham playing without Darius Quisenberry tonight. The righty adjustment center of the paint bangs off the front of the rim from Stockard, and the center of the paint rebound for Ahmad Harrison and Fordham across the midline. Fordham trailing by 13, 48-35, 11 and a half minutes remaining. Charlton left arc 3, Kelly on the feed, in and out. Left block rebound, Jaden Nunn and VCU. VCU scoreless in over 2 minutes. Nunn, the straight on long 2, bangs off the front of the rim. The baseline loose ball run down by Harrison. Near side the outlet to Antrell Charlton. Roaming center of the paint, drawing a double team. The outlet, Riley, right arc 3. Left short, the free throw line rebound for Nunn, speeding it across the midline. Baldwin eyeing up the defense from Riley. 11 minutes remaining, VCU by 13. Baldwin, the scoop layup blocked away underneath. Fordham possession with Riley striding into the midcourt. Charlton, the spin, kick out, right arc 3, Kelly rolls off, and Baldwin, the right block rebound.
And that possession, Fordham slowing it down, doing what they didn't do in the first half. Then you have to shift it to just making the shots. Pat Kelly gets a good look, but unable to get it to fall.
VCU scoreless in approaching 3 minutes. Fordham looking to extend the stretch and take advantage. Head high possession, backing down. It's Stockard over Nowitzki on the righty hook shot, off left rim, out through the baseline. Fordham with possession. The scoreless drought for VCU continues. Just 4 of 16 to open the second half after shooting it at 70% in the first.
And unfortunately, Fordham's won for the last 8, so they haven't really been able to capitalize in this 3-minute stretch offensively. But defensively, I think coming out of halftime, they really have shown not a new fire, but they've been more attention to detail, getting back on defense and limiting the transition opportunities for VCU.
Brown, Jones, and Stockard out. DeLuca and Williams come back in for VCU. Rastik, Nowitzki, and Ahmad Harrison out for Fordham. Chuba Oham's and Kyle Rose into the game. The bounce straight away, Oham's head high possession with the neon orange sneakers on the perimeter. Between the legs dribble, Rose with 5 to shoot. His outlet, left baseline drive. Oham's with 3 and 2. Flips it up with the right. It falls in. Falling away, the 5-foot floater. Chuba Oham's gets the field goal to go with 6 points and 8 rebounds tonight. The VCU lead is just 11. Curry on the perimeter, swipe by Riley. The right arc feed, Baldwin, hesitation dribble. Stop blocked away at the A-10 stamp. The outlet, left to right. Riley left it off right rim. And Charlton claims the loose ball. Kelly, the extra pass. Rose, far corner 3 is good. Kyle Rose in transition. Fordham back within 8. Riley left it short. The loose ball by Charlton, the extra pass And Rose hits the three. He's got double figures for a 6th time in 9 games with 10 tonight. And Fordham trails by just 8 with 9:24 remaining. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, I'm Michael Calamari, reminding you to tune into New York's longest-running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch all the breaking sports news, hot takes, inside scoops from our beat reporters, and interviews with people around the world of sports. One on One airs every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on YouTube Live, and once again at night from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. on 90.7 FM. Want more one-on-one? Catch our Wednesday edition of the show, One-on-One Nightly, from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Twitter and YouTube Live. Join the conversation and tune in to One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show.
Fordham on a 7-0 run over the last 4 minutes. 9-2 run over the last 6.5 to close the gap to single digits for the first time in a long time. VCU has led by as many as 17. Fordham has not led tonight, but the Rams in maroon and white picking up on the defensive end of the floor, hoping that the offense will inch along, and over the last couple of minutes, it has.
If you listen to what Mike Rhodes said before the game about the Fordham Rams, he said they do a great job competing against everybody in this league and battling anybody they play. Well, that's what they've done in the second half. They really have battled defensively, holding VCU to just 24%. Offense has taken some time, Nick, but now in these last few minutes, Kyle Rose drawing that three, it seemed to pick it up just a bit. Fordham, great job after early struggles making this a competitive game.
Mike Rhodes in his 5th season at VCU, 96-50 after a stint as the head coach at Rice. Spent some time as the associate head coach at VCU under Shaka Smart back in the early 2010s, and now positioned well to lead this VCU program that has been so good over the last decade. Have been to the NCAA tournament 12 times in the past 17 seasons, including that landmark win over Duke in 2007, Final Four trip in 2011, and one of 8 NCAA Division I programs that have an active streak of at least 20 consecutive winning seasons, joining Davidson, Duke, Gonzaga, Kansas, Maryland, Michigan State, and Xavier. That's some pretty elite company in college basketball. VCU 48, Fordham 40, 9-10 and ticking. Second half, a 9-2 Fordham run to close the gap to just 8. Baldwin, the Ram portion of the logo, defended by Cologne Navarro. Screen left, Riley shadows with Fordham in zone. Back to the basket, it's DeLuca working on Ohams. The lefty sky hook left off the left of the rim, but a foul called on the interior. Antrell Charlton picks up his 4th foul with contact to the wrist of DeLuca. Check it, that's Williams who will head to the free throw line. And Vince Williams, who scored 14 first half points, yet to get it going in the second half, and his first is all net.
And a big reason he has kind of slowed down in the second half is Antrell Charlton's defense. So now with 4 fouls on him, VCU has a chance to exploit a bit of a weakness now with him off the court.
Williams playing with 3 fouls, as is Keyshawn Curry for VCU. Charlton with 4. Showing some frustration, grabbing the headband on the Fordham bench next to Pat Kelly. As the second free throw is all net for Williams to extend the VCU lead back to 10. Ahmad Harrison into this game. Guy who has not played a ton in the month of February. Running the point for Fordham. The left-handed dribble, drawing a double team straight away. Ohams. Block F portion of the logo. DeLuca the defense. Left of the lane surge. Stops at the elbow. The flutter pass for Cologne Navarro. Jump stop, A-10 stamp with 7 to shoot, curling around, the righty hook. Left strong, Ohams rips down the board. His lefty finger roll off the glass is good. Chuba Ohams attacking on the offensive glass, up to 8 points tonight. And VCU's lead back to 8, 50-42. 8:15 and ticking second half. Curling around Baldwin, shadowed by Ohams. Right arc, hip high pass for Williams on the baseline. Blocked off by Kyle Rose. Possession stripped away. Harrison diving for it on the floor. The loose ball shoveled by VCU. Banks, the left arc possession. Thought about the three. His float left block intercepted by Ohams. VCU turns it over for a 15th time tonight. Fordham in the midst of a 9-2 run, trying to close the gap. Trailing by 8, 7:40 and ticking in this one. Josh Colon-Navarro, waist-high possession, screen left from Ohams, roaming left arc, left of the lane surge, high off the teardrop floater, goes down plus the foul. The rainbow with the right, Colon-Navarro bounces it in off the front of the rim, plus the foul. Fordham closes the VCU lead to 6 and a chance to make it 5 on the other side of this media timeout. 11-2 run for Fordham to close the gap. VCU 50, Fordham 44. Final 7:35 of the second half. You're listening to Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Samantha Borer, beat reporter for the New Jersey Devils for WFUV Sports. You can catch my live updates from the Prudential Center on my Twitter at SammyB7760. That's SAMMYB7760. You'll find my post-game reports on the WFUV Sports YouTube after the game to catch you up on any action you may have missed. I'll have an inside scoop on all things New Jersey hockey all season long. You can also find me on 5on3, WFUV's NHL podcast, where we discuss all the latest news in hockey, both on and off the ice. WFUV is your home for all things Devils.
The foul going to Josh Banks, who picks up his second on the contest of the Josh Colon-Navarro righty runner. In, plus the contact to cut the VCU lead to just 6. 50-44 after Fordham trailed by as many as 17 in the first half. The defense continuing to remain strong in this second half for Fordham. VCU just 4 of 17 from the field in the second frame, and Fordham slowly but surely taking advantage offensively.
The big thing the defense did was just give the offense a shot, and now it took some time here in the second half, but we've seen, during this last 6 minutes where Fordham's on an 11-2 run, it has woken up. You go back 2 possessions ago, Chuba Ohams, the guy that we kind of talked about, was the one who was struggling 1 point at halftime. Great extension, getting an offensive rebound, putting it back up for Fordham. Then last possession, Josh Colon-Navarro pushing the ball in transition, getting the bucket and the foul. His possessions like that, with the energy that Fordham has, it's allowed them to truly never quit throughout the year, and in this game, it's been no different.
Fordham has been able to close the gap with some stronger play offensively in this second half. 15 turnovers in the first 20 minutes, just 1 here in the second half.
Yeah, the way the defense, they've slowed down, right? They haven't tried pushing the basketball at the insane pace they were in the first half. They're getting in their head just a bit. I said before, they're playing VCU-style basketball. Well, the second half, it's been exactly what Fordham's done throughout the year. They're making it uncomfortable for VCU and playing exactly how they've played, which has allowed them to go on this run.
Josh Colon-Navarro to the free throw line to try and cut it to a 5-point game with 7:37 remaining. Couple of bounces. Colon-Navarro's free throw is good. 14 points to lead Fordham scores tonight for Josh Colon-Navarro, who scored 15 with 5 rebounds against Duquesne, has averaged 10 a game over his last 4, and Fordham's within 5, 50-45 in the final 7:20 of this one. Right arc possession, Jaden Nunn peeling away straight away. The over-the-head pass, Williams, give and go from DeLuca. The right baseline bounce, right block. DeLuca on the follow, left it short. The loose ball batted into the front court. Riley runs it down. Euro step to the goal off the glass, and it falls. Zach Riley attacking in transition. The Euro step and the finger roll with the right, and Fordham is within a possession. 50-47, 6:45 remaining. Fordham trailed by as many as 17 tonight. Curry, the hesitation, right of the goal drive, high off the glass over Ohams, gets it to fall. The pretty finish by Keyshawn Curry over Ohams, and VCU once again leads by 5, 6:25 and ticking second half. Colon Navarro losing possession. Block F portion of the logo reclaims it. Between the legs dribble, stops straight on. Rose, the pump fake, tries the three. Misses everything, and the loose ball off the glass taken in center of the paint by DeLuca.
And this is where the experience of a team like VCU comes in handy. They've been in the spot. They've played together. They know how to step up in these moments.
Williams straight away. The toss for Curry, right of the paint drive, the shoulder shake to create the separation off the glass. It's too strong, out through the baseline. And the officials looking at one another to determine possession. We'll say that it was last touched by Fordham, with Ace Baldwin inbounding to the right of the lane, contested by Ohams. Final 5:51 of this one. VCU 52, Fordham 47. The inbound, Williams, the turnaround baby hook from 6. Grazes off the front of the rim. Kyle Rose off the shovel from Chuba Ohams, who has 10 rebounds tonight. Into the front court for Fordham, trailing by 5. Josh Colon Navarro. Screen left from Ohams, the roll left of the lane surge, the scoop layup off the glass, rolls off front rim, and the center of the paint board for VCU and Williams. Hesitation, baseline drive underneath, the hook pass for Stockard, ripping away possession, jump ball asked for and ruled. VCU keeps possession with 5:18 remaining second half. VCU leading 52-47. Fordham, at the very least, getting the possession arrow.
And that's the scouting report on Stockard. You look last him out versus George Mason. You trap him in the paint like they did. He'll turn the ball over there. Fordham getting a jump ball. Now they do have the possession arrow.
Right to the lane, inbound from Baldwin. Stockard for a curling none. Defended by Kyle Rose. Straightaway Williams. Over the head possession. The gallop on the hesitation. Outlet none. Near corner Williams. The three is good. Vince Williams with a big-time shot. The first three of the second half for VCU extends their lead to 8, 55-47. Backcourt pressure. Rose in between the legs, got it knocked away, falling to the floor to try and reclaim it, and a loose ball foul called on VCU in the backcourt. 4:53 remaining second half. VCU on top by 8, 55-47. And Kyle Rose will head to the free throw line after the 8th team foul for VCU of the second half.
That last possession for Fordham defensively, a back-breaking one. Vince Williams, the last guy you want to give an open 3 to, 38% three-point shooter, and he makes them pay there.
Williams up to a game-high 19 points on 7 of 9 from the field, playing with 4 fouls as Rose rattles in the first free throw, the front end of the 1-and-1. And the VCU lead is back to 7, 55-48, 4:53 remaining. Rose, Colon Navarro, Ahmad Harrison, Riley, and Ohams, the 5 on the floor for Fordham. Kyle Rose's second bangs off front rim, off the backboard, and it falls. VCU by 6, 55-49, 4:45 and ticking in this one. Ace Baldwin, ram portion of the logo, near side feed, the stop by Curry, acrobatic flip off the glass with the right, high off. It rolls off, but a foul called on Fordham. Chuba Ohams on the inside picks up his first foul. And the attack by Keyshawn Curry, who's got 10 points tonight. Only 3 VCU players averaging double figures coming in. Having to manage foul trouble in the first half, but has really been a catalyst for some of their offense tonight.
Curry, he's been a guy, though, in the second half. Fordham's done a much better job defending 8 in that first half. His up-tempo style of play, it's giving them a ton of fits. Fordham not getting back in transition. But here in the second half, Fordham's done a better job at limiting his opportunities.
Curry's first swirls in. Ahmad Harrison will head out to the Fordham bench. Antrell Charlton returns to the floor for the final 4:37, playing with 4 fouls. Vince Williams for VCU playing with 4 as well. And the second free throw good for Curry, who's up to 12 points tonight in VCU, an 8-point lead. 57-49, 4.5 minutes remaining. Between the legs dribble for Kyle Rose. Handoff, hip pocket possession, Charlton. Curry shadows. Elevates the left arc feed, Colon Navarro. Holds the ball away from Baldwin. Back to the basket, Oham. Stops center of the paint. Backing down Stockard, flips it up with the right off the glass. It rattles in. Chuba Ohams has another double-double.
And seemingly out of nowhere, Nick, after how much he struggled early in this first half, he's turned it on when Fordham's needed it most.
10 points, 10 rebounds. VCU 57, Fordham 51. The final 4 minutes of the second half. Curry to heels on the ram portion of the logo. Jab step by Josh Banks. Left arc for none. Left of the lane surge on the yo-yo dribble hesitation. Back to the basket. It's Curry, the between the legs dribble, the righty runner as the shot clock expires too strong, and Ohams rips down the center of the paint rebound. Fordham trailing by 6 into the front court. Charlton the shovel. Rose with room for 3. In and out. And the left block board taken in by VCU. Low to the ground. It's Baldwin. Rose with an excellent opportunity. Open from 3. A chance to cut it to a 1-possession game. Couldn't get it to fall. Baldwin, right elbow with 15 to shoot. The lefty leaner falling away. Rolls off the rim and the underneath the basket board for Josh Colon Navarro. Fordham in the final 3 minutes trailing by 6. 57-51. Outscoring VCU by 8 in the second half. Charlton, the rip-away possession. Rose, the bounce back to the basket. Oham, center of the paint, and a foul called away from the basketball. It will go to VCU. Fordham keeps possession with 2:45 remaining in this second half. VCU scoreless in the last 2 minutes, and Fordham outscoring the visitors 25-17 in this second half of play. VCU 57, Fordham 51, looking to erase a 6-point deficit on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Close game so far between Nova and Providence. Nova up 31-30 with 4 minutes left to go in the first half. A lot of lead changes early in the second half between Oklahoma and Texas, but the Longhorns currently lead 54-51 with 6:35 left to go. And wouldn't you know, we've got a game now. Wake Forest has cut the lead against Duke. The Duke Blue Devils are now only up by 7. Early in the third period, Bruins still up 1-0 on the Rangers. Meanwhile, Buffalo has jumped back on top with a 3-2 lead thanks to a power play goal from Alex Tuck. And in Newark, New Jersey, the Lightning have now tied the Devils 3-3 at the end of the second period. On WFUV Sports, I'm Sebastian Seabach here with your one-on-one scoreboard update.
Fordham with an 8-point advantage in the second half, surging to a single-digit deficit. VCU 57, Fordham 51, 2:45 remaining as VCU looks to close out Fordham to win a 4th straight game, and the Rams in maroon and white are hoping to stage an improbable comeback and net a 2nd straight win here at the Rose Hill Gym. Fordham has picked up that defensive intensity. VCU just 6 of 24 from the field in the second half, and now needing to find 1 or 2 more shots to take advantage and really make this a game.
And the true domino for Fordham, I think, when you're looking back at the second half, is just one turnover. Because what that has done is allowed their defense to get set. It's why they've held VCU to just 25%, and it's given their offense, more opportunity. Now, you're right, Nick, though. It may not mean anything. You're still down 6. You have to claw out of this. You're going to have to hit your big-time shots. We had some open threes those last few possessions that you need to bury if you're Fordham, if you want to really make this a back-and-forth one.
Kyle Rose had a golden opportunity on Fordham's last offensive possession, open for a straight-on 3, and just in and out would have cut it to a one-possession game at 57-54. Fordham with the foul called heading into the media timeout. Chuba Ohams to the free throw line, eyeing up the goal. His first is good. Sinks the front end of the 1-and-1, and the VCU lead is 5, 57-52, 2:45 remaining.
And the way Chuba's been able to, bounce back after that tough first half, didn't hit a field goal, now up to another double-double, has led the team in the second half. It's why, on the offensive side, Fordham's been able to make this one close.
Too strong on the second. Ohams with 11 points and 11 rebounds. Fordham trails by 5, 57-52. Williams straight away, left arc handoff, Curry for Baldwin. Guarded by Cologne Navarro. Williams, the shot fake. Baldwin, right arc, over the head pass. Curry on the baseline drive, flips it up and under, and it'll go down. Keyshawn Curry attacking the basket on the baseline, up to 14 points tonight. Fordham inbounding to the left of the goal, swatted away. They'll get another opportunity after it rolls out of the baseline. 2:19 remaining. VCU 59, Fordham 52. Antro Charlton with the left of the backcourt goal inbound. Josh Cologne Navarro drawing a double team. Outlet into the hands of Kyle Rose. Left to right, between the legs, strolling dribble. And the flip pass for Charlton, block F portion of the logo. Final 2 minutes, Fordham trailing by 7. Shot clock to 12. Fordham late getting into the offense. Backing down Oham, center of the paint. DeLuca providing the defense. The curl of Ohams flipping it up off the glass left short. A foul will go to VCU. It's Jalen DeLuca picking up his 4th.
And it seemed like it took, Chuba Ohams a while to figure out this defense. Obviously, Ward's injury has helped him down in the paint. DeLuca, the guy, guarded him tightly in the first half. But in this second half, Ohams has been a lot more aggressive at attacking him.
DeLuca picking up his 4th foul. Ohams the flip up with the right. His first is good. A 2-possession game. VCU 59, Fordham 53, 1:57 remaining. Chuba Ohams 12 points and 11 rebounds. The Rainbow second rolls in and out, as Ohams is just 4 of 8 from the free throw line tonight, and that a big miss. VCU by 6, 59-53, 140 and ticking in this second half. Curry elevates for the straight-on pass. The hesitation, yo-yo dribble, right of the lane attack going up. Hard contact along the baseline, flipping it up. It was left short, and the foul called on Chuba Ohams for a block. A physical collision to the right of the basket, and Chuba Ohams will be charged with his 2nd foul.
And Fordham there, especially the coaching staff, was looking for the foul to go in the other direction. Coach Urgo had his hands on his head. Unfortunately for them, though, VCU has a chance at the free throw line to open this up to a 3-possession game.
1:36 remaining. VCU 59, Fordham 53. Curry to the free throw line. It's the front end of the 1-and-1. Curry, a 71% free throw shooter, knocks down the front end. 3-possession game. VCU on top by 7, 60-53. Fordham outscoring VCU by 7 in the second half, make it 6 as Curry nails the second, up to 15 points on the evening. Josh Cologne Navarro speeding into the front court. Fordham will have to hurry, trailing by 8 in the final 90 seconds of this one. With 20 seconds remaining, Cologne Navarro on the shot clock. Surging center of the paint, and a timeout called by Fordham on the far sideline, taking well too much time to get into their sets. And now an opportunity to talk it over with Kyle Neptune to the right of the scores table here at the Rose Hill Gym. VCU will rush their bench to the left of the scores table. 1:26 remaining in the second half. VCU 61, Fordham 53. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Be sure to stay tuned for the one-on-one postgame report with Mike and Sebastian. They'll break down the game from our Rose Hill studio, and we'll be joined by an assistant coach right here from the Rose Hill Gym. Stay on locked on 90.7 FM or our WFUV Sports YouTube page.
A tale of two halves will be the theme of the one-on-one postgame report, with the game still yet to be decided. VCU on top by 8, 61-53, 1:26 remaining. With this, where Fordham has thrived at points this season and hanging around and trimming what seemed to be impossible deficits to having a chance to tie it up. Straight away, Ohams, the bullet pass deflected. VCU into the front court. Curry on the run. His possession was knocked away with Fordham trailing on the defense. Chuba Ohams will pick up yet another foul, raising his left arm to take credit for it. And yet, Antrell Charlton will be whistled for the foul, and that'll be the end of his night. Ohams trying to take credit. Appeared as though they both got hands on the basketball, but it is Charlton ruled for the foul. His night done after just 1 point. 0 of 5 from the field, and VCU with a chance to put this game on ice at the free throw line.
And that swing there, brutal for Fordham. Vince Williams, who's been such a dynamite force all game for VCU, getting the steal there, then giving it to Curry, who just blazes it in transition. VCU, as you said now, Nick, you hit your free throws, you can get out of Rose Hill with the victory.
VCU looking for a 4th straight win, as Keyshawn Curry, who's got 16 points tonight, had 11 last time out against George Mason, hits the front end. A 9-point VCU lead, 62-53. VCU with 5 of the last 6 points in this one as Curry bubbles in the second. The lead for VCU back to double figures, 63-53. A 6-1 VCU run as the looks of closing this one out. Cologne Navarro, the surge right of the goal with possession handcuffed underneath the basket. He plummets to the floor. The flip to the left of the rim out through the baseline. A VCU foul with Cologne Navarro on the other end of the bump from Ace Baldwin.
And another double-digit game for Cologne Navarro, but this time it hasn't been the three-point shot. He's hit just one. He's taken it to the basket. We've seen him push it in transition. We've seen him just be aggressive at the rim in general. It's something early in the season we didn't see a lot from his game offensively, but during this second stretch of the season, he's improved a ton as a scorer.
Cologne Navarro hits the first. Fordham shooting at 33% tonight, just 4 of 22 from 3. In a 9-point game, Cologne Navarro's second is all net. And that a theme that has persisted throughout this season. Fordham has really struggled shooting the long ball. Able to mask it a bit against Duquesne last time out, shooting more twos, but Fordham within striking distance if they could have hit a couple more of those.
Yeah, 1 for 10 in this second half. You may look back at it, and that being the thing you really hoped you could get back.
Possession swatted away. Fordham forces the turnover. Cologne Navarro angling away from a double team to press down his right hand to keep his balance. A jump ball ruled with mutual possession as Nunn clamped on it. No, they'll call a foul. It'll be on Jaden Nunn. Originally, the jump ball ruled would have been Fordham possession anyway. This time, Josh Cologne Navarro will head to the free throw line, has a Fordham high 16 points. And once again, Fordham forcing the turnover, not quite done yet. as Cologne Navarro hits the first, and it's a 7-point game.
Yeah, we should have known better, Nick, than to say if VCU hits the free throws, they'll get out of here with the win. Fordham all season long has shown this fight, this last 2 minutes, they really, truly are never out of a game.
Cologne Navarro rattles in the second. It's a two-possession game, 63-57. The juggle on the inbounds pass held by none. The gasp from the Rose Hill Gym crowd across the midline, closing in on Stockard, and Fordham forces a VCU timeout. 46 seconds remaining. VCU 63, Fordham 57. And Fordham trying to work some of that late game magic to hang around. And a team that has been so good in the final 2 minutes, forcing the turnovers, making things difficult on inbounding teams and forcing those giveaways. And VCU giving it away more often than any other team in the Atlantic 10. So the recipe is there for Fordham if they want to stage the comeback in the final 46.7 tonight.
Yeah, in this aspect, it really does, shift in Fordham's favor throughout the whole season. You talked about the 2-minute defense, but just the inbound defense by Fordham's been fantastic at pressuring teams and making them uncomfortable and making them just go to players that they don't trust at the line. It's been no different. VCU, as you've talked about, they're turning it over a lot. So if Fordham can generate those opportunities, force VCU to get it into the hands of players they don't trust as much, this is a chance where Fordham, if they hit their shots, can make this yet again a game.
Keyshawn Curry just to the left of the VCU bench will inbound. Waist high, flip for Williams. The double team comes. Curry closed in on by the Fordham defense on the right elbow. It's Riley reaching to pry the basketball free and will draw the foul. With Chuba Ohams closing in as well. He will be charged with the foul. Riley seemed to be the primary defender there, but Ohams picking up just his third, so not huge concern in the final 43 seconds. Curry, 71% free throw shooter, in and out on the first.
And that's exactly what you need if you're Fordham. Find any way to keep this a two-possession game. VCU opening the door just slightly. Now it's up to Fordham to take advantage of that.
VCU 9 of 11 from the stripe tonight. This a massive second free throw. Curry, the bend of the knees, his second, all net. A 7-point game, a 3-possession VCU lead in the final 40 seconds. Josh Cologne Navarro strolling across the midline. Fordham needing to hurry, protecting the basketball on a right of the paint drive. As he tumbles to the floor, flipping it up, left short, a foul called. As Ace Baldwin will pick up his second foul, and Josh Cologne Navarro once again aggressive to the goal, drawing the foul, and another trip to the free throw line.
And it works here because if VCU is going to play that tough defense, you can get the call like you did. Cologne Navarro is the guy you want taking the free throws, hitting the first one there, lead the team in free throw percentage. He's up to 19 in the game, 8 for 8 from the free throw line. His aggressiveness has not just been, getting the ball in the basket. It's been getting to the free throw line.
Cologne Navarro rattles in the second, 35.3 seconds remaining in this one. As Fordham will make a couple of substitutions. Ahmad Harrison into the game for his defense. The right of the goal inbound will come from Vince Williams. The outlet for Stockard. Williams on the give and go. The bounce into the front court. Shovel for Curry, who softly lays it in. The 7-point lead for VCU. 25 seconds remaining into the front court. Harrison underneath the basket, dribble, looking for an outlet. The crossover, layup off the glass, left it short. A critical miss. The foul underneath the basket by Ohams, and Ahmad Harrison, who was once again wide open on the baseline drive, leaving it short off the glass. Shades of a play against Richmond, and VCU with possession, with a chance to seemingly once and for all close this thing out at the free throw line.
Yeah, good memory there, Nick. It was a fantastic move, first off, by Harrison to get under the basket as open as he was. He just rushed it a little too much, too short on that attempt. The first free throw off, but a frustrating sequence of events for Fordham.
Stockard well off on the first, didn't even hit the rim. As he will set up to take the second in the final 17.6 of this one. Stockard too strong, and Ohams elevates for the right block rebound. Fordham needing to hurry. Cologne Navarro stops straight away, hoists the three off left rim, and VCU the left block tip of the rebound. Ohams lays it in from the right block in the final 6 seconds, and it's a 5-point game. VCU 66, Fordham 61. As Kyle Neptune will use the timeout. Fordham needing to force a turnover on this inbound to have any chance. Josh Cologne Navarro with 20 points tonight, a career high.
Yeah, you look at the clock right now, just not in Fordham's favor. You know, you hope there was a few more seconds for them to really do something special for them to get back in this one. It would take a steal, it would be a quick score. You need VCU to miss some free throws, so a lot goes into this. But overall, Nick, I think the fight that Fordham showed in the second half has been a theme all year. Been extremely impressive to watch.
5.9 seconds remaining. VCU 66, Fordham 61. VCU led by as many as 17 tonight. Fordham outscoring the Road Rams by 9 in the final 19-plus minutes. Williams running the baseline, over the head pass. It's corralled by Curry, turns it over. Riley at the buzzer missed everything. Wouldn't have mattered anyway with Fordham down by 5, and that will do it from the Rose Hill Gym tonight. Fordham, the second half comeback, not quite enough. VCU riding the strong first half shooting and that smothering defense to a 4th win in a row. 66-61 the final. The one-on-one post-game report up next from the Rose Hill Gym.
The one-on-one post-game report.
Falling to the VCU Rams 66-61. A tough one for the Rams. A lot of second half fight. This was a first half where they trailed 40-26, but able to claw their way back to lose by 5 points. Now, before we send it back to our Rose Hill Gymnasium, we get a one-on-one scoreboard with Sebastian Seabach.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
NCAA Top 25 got a close one between Texas and Oklahoma. Longhorns firmly up 66-62. Game is officially over between Wake Forest and Duke. Duke holds on by just 2, 76-74. And Villanova and Providence at halftime right now. Nova up 46-39. In the third period, Boston Bruins, New York Rangers now tied at 1. Third quarter, Islanders against Buffalo. Buffalo still has a 3-2 lead. And the Lightning have now also taken a 4-3 lead against the Devils. One-on-one scoreboard update with Sebastian Seabach, handing it back to Mike Calamari.
A lot of post-game talk coming your way in just a moment, but we're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Gymnasium with Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware.
Thanks, guys. 66-61. VCU downs Fordham. That's the final tonight from the Rose Hill Gym. Joined by Fordham Associate Head Coach Keith Ergo. Coach, you guys were able to close the gap in the second half, outscoring VCU by 9. What needed to change from the first half to the second half to allow you to close the gap?
Quite honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of strategy. I mean, the bottom line is we didn't come out in the first 10 minutes and play Fordham basketball, and that's tough, physical, that's being scrappy, getting every 50-50 ball. They came out and they were the aggressive team, which we knew they would be, but typically we match that. In the first 4 to 5 minutes, we didn't match that. You know, it's very difficult to win a game when you have 15 turnovers in the first half. However, you got to credit them. They did a great job executing their game plan. But we're proud of our guys. We had 15 turnovers in the first half. We ended with 17. So we came out, we played much more aggressive, much more physical. We played like we had been playing for the last couple of weeks there. So we got to be proud of our finish. But, you know, we got to play a full 40. And unfortunately, we played about 30.
A big reason that second half got really tight. Josh Cologne Navarro, season-high 20 points for him. What did you see from his effort here tonight?
Yeah, you know what? He had to play a lot of minutes, all right? And that's just the way it's going to have to be, obviously, with the injuries we've had, with the guys that are out. It's by committee. And Josh stepped up. He's been coming in every day, taking care of his body. The kid works as hard as anybody that I've been around in my career. So he deserves a night like this, and hopefully it continues to happen for him down the stretch, as he's only got a few games left in his career. And I think he's going to continue to play this consistent.
Chuba Ohams wasn't able to get much of anything going in the first half, but he's got 10 in the second half, another double-double. What allowed him to try and get things going when it wasn't looking great for you guys in that first half?
Yeah, you know what? I think he just settled down a little bit. I think he had 5 turnovers at halftime, and again, credit to them. They made him bring the basketball up, and I think he just made a couple of he like they do. They sped him up a little bit, right? And I think he just took a couple deep breaths in the second half, realized how talented he is, got a little bit more physical in the paint, and as a result, you saw his numbers increase. The kid that makes a big difference for them, the kid's Hassan Ward. He got hurt, didn't play. Obviously, that helped us out in the second half because he's a force in the paint, force defensively.
I know, Coach, you talk about a full 40-minute effort, but in that second half, still a lot of good. What can you take from that last 20 minutes, cutting it close in that one and kind of projecting towards the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is if we play like that for 20 minutes, we're capable of beating anybody in the country, let alone in this league. I mean, you saw we beat them by 9 in the second half, and it wasn't because they slowed the game down. It was just we were more aggressive like we want to be. If we can do that for 40 minutes, anytime we've done that for 40 minutes, we've been very successful. And that's what we got to continue to tell our guys. Look, in this league, especially down the stretch, we want to continue to be the best team we can be by the end of the year. We should be up to 37, 38 minutes at this point. We got to get to 40 by the end of the year. And tonight, unfortunately, we fell back a little bit and only played for 30. So that's some of the things that we'll take from it. Look how good we can be when we play the way we're trying to play for not just 20, not just 30, but 40.
Coach, appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys.
VCU 66, Fordham 61. The final from the Rose Hill Gym. VCU on the road, extending their winning streak to 4 games. And Fordham, after a win last time out against Duquesne, drops their return home against VCU to fall to 4-8 in conference play. Fordham led by Josh Colon-Navarro with 20. Chuba Ohams had 14. Fordham able to manage the turnovers in the second half, but just a little bit too late.
And Coach Ergo, he phrased it well. It was, we played for 30, got to play for 40. That first 10 minutes of that half, Fordham just looked completely outmatched, Nick. Really, we're not able to figure out any identity offensively. Had 10 turnovers in the first 10 minutes, and obviously that wasn't sustainable. But they gathered themselves. They played great down the stretch. It just wasn't enough because of the early deficit.
Keyshawn Curry with 21 to lead VCU. Williams with 19, the bulk of the Road Rams scoring tonight. And that defense that VCU flaunts at 14th in the country showed up tonight to the tune of 17 forced turnovers. They are the real deal.
You could see why. They're third in the A-10. They're on the bubble for, March Madness and the NCAA tournament. This team, they're fantastic when they play together. Their effort was tremendous. The defense swarmed Fordham, and it took a while for Fordham to figure out, but you can see why a lot of teams throughout the year do not know how to attack that defense.
And after all of the turnovers, all of the offensive struggles, we know that Fordham isn't going to be the most efficient team. They finish 4 of 24 from three-point range. A couple of those things go in, and you're talking about a really different ball game.
And especially in that second half, they had some open looks, right? Kyle Rose in and out on a few three theirs. Obviously, if you get those to go, it's a different game. Things are looking differently. But for Fordham, that's been what's been the case all year, right? It's been inefficient three-point shooting. It's been the defense they have to focus on. I think in the first half, they just dug themselves too big of a hole, giving VCU, 70% from the field. That cannot happen for the Fordham Rams.
Ryan, I'll give you the final word. VCU downs Fordham 66-61 tonight.
And, it kind of sounds cliche, and it's something we've said a lot throughout the year, but it was a good, hard-fought loss for Fordham. They showed a lot, especially in that second half. You heard, Sam Basil at halftime said something really interesting. It was from the coaching staff difference from this year to last year, top to bottom, the effort is different. They go down 17 last year. It's a blowout. This year, it's a three-point game with 5 minutes left, and I think that's the encouraging sign you have to take if you're Fordham.
Fordham dropping their return to the Rose Hill Gym. VCU 66, Fordham 61, falling to 4-8 in A-10 play. VCU with a 4th win in a row to 10-3, matching their Largest win total in A10 play since 2011 and 2012. That should just wrap it up for us from the Rose Hill Gym. Back to our Rose Hill studios as the one-on-one postgame report continues with Mike Calamari.
Back here at our Rose Hill studios, Fordham losing this one by 5 points, 66-61 to VCU. Couple notes from the game: Josh Colonavarro leading the way with 20 points, 5 for 13 from the field. Chuba Oham's really coming alive in that second half. He had 14 points, 5 for 10 from the field. He also had a double-double with 12 rebounds. And on the VCU side of things, 2 players in 18-plus scoring. Fordham struggling on the defensive side of things. Sebastian, I'm going to pass it over to you. Any takeaways from this game? If you're the Fordham Rams, you still lose, but a great effort in the second half to get back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of just goes to show the fight in this Fordham team in general. You're down by 16 in the first half. You cut the lead to 3 in the second half. So, it's just the effort that this team gives, I think you can take moving forward. And look, we knew this was going to be a tough contest. VCU's third in the conference. They have one of the top defenses in the league. And, Fordham did have 15 turnovers in the first half. But let's look at the second half. They only had 2 turnovers. And even though they didn't hit their shots, they hit 32.7% of their shots, kind of equivalent percentages in the first and second half. They played flawlessly in the second half, almost flawlessly, and they limited their mistakes, and I think that's the one thing you can take from this game.
Yeah, and I think you put it perfectly. It feels like with every minute, with every game, with every half, Fordham is becoming a better team, and I think that makes you hopeful about the future and hopeful about the rest of this season. But once again, the final score of today's game is VCU 66, Fordham 61. The sports director of WFUV is Bobby Chaffardini. Our on-site producer was Danny Scott. Chris Hennessy held down production in studio alongside Ralph Rabari as our engineer, and Sam Hoke with the highlights. Fordham's next game is Sunday, February 27th, when the Rams play host to the George Mason Patriots. Tip-off is at 2:30 p.m. We'll be on with the 101 pregame report at 2:25 on 90.7 FM and our YouTube page. The next game for the women's team is tomorrow night, February 16th, when they travel to Massachusetts to take on the UMass Minutemen. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. with the 101 pregame report starting at 6:55 on WFUVsports.org and our Spreaker page. Until next time, for myself, Sebastian Seabach with the updates, and our broadcasters Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware. I'm Michael Calamari. Have a great evening, everybody. Fordham Rams Basketball is a production of WFUV Sports.